Game Day Show live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback this Saturday from 10 to noon.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Did you ever have your mouth washed out with soap?
I absolutely did. Yes. I actually.
What was your favorite brand of soap?
Well, I don't remember the favorite brand, but I mean, back in those days, back when you had real parents, they made you wash your own mouth.
Back when you had real parents,
you
not like Bo.
Not like these parents that give you juice during halftime and make sure everybody's never makes their kids drink out of the garden hose.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you
Bo.
believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Let me just begin by saying the temperature in the studio finally feels good. Most mornings you can hang meat in here. I mean, really, I walk in here and I see my breath.
Yeah.
First thing when I walk in the morning.
Stop
It's true. I go
whining.
outside to warm up.
Oh, stop it.
But finally, you guys have decided to turn the heat on in here.
You go outside
Feels
to warm
halfway
up.
decent in here.
Well, I don't want to. But this morning it was in the low 60s, and we had to make sure you were ready to go.
It's 30 degrees outside. It's winter. Got to get this place warm. Build
Well,
a fire.
it's getting up to 50 today.
Well, if you're the first one here, you got to get the heater on, which is what you've done.
Well, I just
Was
turned it
Edward
on
the
just
first one
now.
here today, or were you
Well,
here?
a few days ago when I got here early, like I do, I turned the heater off.
I got
and
you.
the air off because I thought we were in that time of the year where it's just up and down. So let's just let the temperature do what it does.
Right.
And it's a veteran move, is what I would say. There.
I would say so.
And the problem with the vet move is when you forget that it's going to be freezing temperatures overnight, and then you get in the next day and it's cold.
It's nothing
Or you
worse.
go to bed and do that, and you wake up and you're like, oh, it's really cold in here. I like it cold, though. Chuck likes it warm. I like it cold. You can always put more clothes on.
Well, that's what everybody said.
You can always warm up. How do you cool down?
I've already got a hoodie on.
And when I get all revved up on the show, which happens every day, I get fired up about something. I just start getting all, heated up.
I think you need to
Start
work up a
breaking
good
into a
lather in the
sweat.
studio. I think you need to work up a lather while you're doing
You'll
the show.
see me
I think
take
it's key.
my hat off. The weird thing about
Just to cool off.
I don't know if this happens to you, but like having a bald head. When it's cold, you got to cover that thing up because all your
Absolutely.
heat is released out the top of your head.
Yeah.
When you get hot and you wear a hat, it's trapped in there. And you just start to sweat.
Well, you do.
How's your life? What's going on in your world? Let's hear the struggles you have
That's right.
today.
The
with just
struggle's real.
Average, everyday life. We're here to help.
The struggle's real.
We're here to help. We got caller number 7 right out of the gate today.
I know.
I
know.
I don't know if he's still there, but we had a call on hold. We were about to get to it. I think he wanted a hat.
Well, he
wanted
wants
a
one of
Chuck
these
and Bo
popular
hat.
hats we could make them in. We really could. We got to get together. We got to get our heads together here, guys. And people are asking. It's the high trucker thing here at the start or here at the top that I think
You don't wear many of those, do you?
Nah, man, this thing it's like a trucker's hat.
Yeah, it looks good, though.
I like kind of a low brow.
It looks
sorta
good,
deal.
though. I'm wearing a Pigs brand hat today.
I noticed that.
The Pigs brand, fine folks at the Pigs brand gave it to me when we were at the Mallet
They've done well for themselves, by the way.
Family
I see their
Foundation
hats
nonprofit.
everywhere.
Yeah, they've really taken off.
Yeah.
Now, if we could just get one that says Chuck and one that says Bo, that's what we should do. This kind of hat, you have Chuck on yours, I have Bo on mine. And we'll just walk around. He's Chuck on Bo.
That's 100%. That's a great idea.
And we'll get an and sign to put on Bart's hat, and then
There
he'll
we
just
go.
be in the middle.
There we
I'll
go.
figure something out later forever. One thing at a time.
That's right. That's
When-
right.
By the way, I was listening to the Cal show last night, listening for Chuck, and I swear I listened for like 30 minutes, didn't hear him one time. Were you on the show?
I was on the show. I got it started, and then I stepped aside, and man, I felt like an MC. I feel like an MC rather than a show host when I'm there. He is, he's good. I mean, look, it's a dream come true for me. I mean, a couple of questions, and if it was not a live show and there was not a taping, like we were in a studio, I could ask a question and like go out to the car, come back in, go to the restroom, get a cup of coffee, come back, and he'd still be going.
Right. Like the old DJ days.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
Play the longest
Put
song.
on American Pie and you know, roam around for 10 minutes.
Go talk to some friends.
That's right.
Make some calls.
Run down the street, get a Coke or something.
So, Edward, do you have something from last night?
Well, we have the cut up of Chuck's questions with Cal's questions because it was pretty close on how many questions each of them asked.
Okay, so we have this is all the questions that were asked by either Cal or Chuck last night.
Great win for the Razorbacks. Congratulations on that. And boy, your team really pulled away at the end.
But how about it do?
And then he went.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy, he's doing a little bit of everything.
We got new Razorbacks to talk about. 3 of them, Coach, and I'll let you take it from there because they're all really good.
Why only 6? Come on, you got some basketball bennies in here. Why only 6 fouls?
Was it
You
3
use
or 2?
that phrase, willing to mix it up. Beyond the skill, is that one of the things you look for?
That was
You
really
go down
the
and do
most, that's the
something
most
nuts.
probing
You
question
already
of the
know
night.
what's happening down the other end. What is it? They're making a 3. And it may bank in.
You had some hardy souls in
Yeah,
the arena last night.
I was so pleased because I went home, walked my dog.
This is
but it started
literally the
getting
amount of
windy.
times Chuck
Man, he was
got
on your
to talk.
staff on the UMass team that
this
the
is all of it.
Razorbacks played, so he's been with you a long time.
He was 24 years old.
Your staff is close. Is it important for your team to see that, to see the
How many more we got
loyalty and the respect that you guys have for one another?
You know, that we are
Great
together.
question.
All right, Coach Cal, everybody.
That's the extent of my work last night.
I think half of those were statements, Chuck.
Well, they were. They're prompts. Prompts.
There you
That's
go,
the
prompts.
they were just prompts.
Hey, that's all, Chuck.
Yeah, thank
Wow,
you.
good job.
It's like stealing. It's like stealing.
That's total runtime for Chuck
Yeah.
talking. on
Not
the
to
show.
mention the 3 or 4 crowd questions as well.
Oh yeah. Those were good too. But I really don't have anything to do with that. I just like say, hey, here's Coach Z, and then when the segment's over, I say, hey, back with more in a moment. So that's pretty much it.
Like a professional, though.
Yeah. Well, you know, I give it my broadcast voice. Yes. You know.
Kentucky fans are all over Cal now.
What is with crowd size?
Yeah.
What
It's,
is with that?
Well, Barstool, who's got 6.1 million followers on Twitter, posted something about it being embarrassing. Arkansas embarrassed. Sad state that Arkansas would have to be begging for people to show up at the game. So a little PSA to Razorback fans, you are now on the national radar because Cal is national. Cal is national. He is a big-time public figure. And what happens here is no longer just our business. Just so you know, if you think about a big-time celebrity, like they just hit the big time. Now everybody knows who they are. You no longer go to the grocery store and have the same experience you once did. You're a big-time celebrity, and people are going to notice you. They're going to bother you. They're going to say things about you, all that. That's Arkansas now with Cal here. You are on the radar. It's no longer just our business, no longer just stays in the family. We don't get to just talk about it here, whether fans should be at the game, whether they shouldn't be at the game, whose fault is it, what's the problem with NIL. Whatever it is, they're going to make fun of Arkansas or they're going to praise Arkansas. They're paying attention. Everything's going on the radar of any consequence, and sometimes things that you wouldn't even think are of any consequence because John Calipari is your coach. That's what comes along with it. So when he came out and basically said, man, where is everybody? The national media, it went viral. It's gone wild, and guess who loves it?
I'm going to guess that's Kentucky fans.
Kentucky fans. And guess what they did for the Lipscomb game last night?
Packed it out.
They probably hired people to stand outside the arena like they couldn't get in.
They are so
They
obsessed
took a
with
picture
Cal.
and they wanted everybody to know, this is Lipscomb. Look at the crowd we have.
It's like
We're Kentucky. We don't need him.
It's incredible how obsessed they are with him right now. I got to rise to the defense of our people, though. Look, this thing Monday about getting on the small crowd and unacceptable and all this stuff. It's Monday. First off, real life does intervene. Monday afternoon, if you were in Fayetteville, I mean, it was pouring down rain. The wind was howling. Anybody that had to be out on the road, didn't want to be. Everyone was going through the same thing. Temperature dropped about 15 degrees. And people, because we are creature comfort people now, decided they didn't want to go. You still had, 8, 9, 10,000 people in there. I'm not going to get on people because they decided not to go Monday night. I mean, you're playing Pacific. The weather's horrible. You're just coming off a weekend. You lost to Texas. You're not real happy about the state of the world anyway because of that. I'm not going to get on people for not going to that game. And look, if Kentucky people want to pack the house for them playing Lipscomb, go get them. Go get them. I mean, that's what they've always done. Nothing's any different. And we'll see in March or we'll see in February, whenever they play. And let's roll it out there and see what happens. But this idea that somehow Kentucky's fans are better than Arkansas's fans, I mean, that's ridiculous. I mean, this obsession with crowd size, I mean, it's transferred in from politics to sports. It's like, that's the dumbest thing in the world. And
I think it went from sports to politics.
Well,
Became
whatever.
a political thing.
Back and forth.
But it has been a thing for a long time.
What I'm saying is that if Kentucky fans think they're better than Arkansas fans, let them think that. I couldn't care less. They've always thought that. There's nothing different. They're obsessed with Cal because he left them. And it's one of those deals where I can't wait for you to go, oh, please, would you come back? They know that, whether they like it or not, I mean, he was the star for 15 years, and they're still obsessed with him.
It's a very logical take.
Well, I know.
I have something to add to it.
All right.
And
It's kinda getting warm
maybe
in
something
here, too.
different. We got to take a break. We got to turn the air down. See, I'm telling you. We got to turn it back off.
You're gonna get a new
Our Pascal heating
I was
and air
gonna say,
worked just fine.
it
We're,
did.
we can go up, we can go down, we can go cold, we can go hot. We're going to go off in a minute.
It's that digital thermostat.
And I'm going to go off on this fan thing.
Good.
When we come back on the Chuck and Bo
Can't
Show.
wait.
6:15. Can't wait for you to join. 877-377-6963. Good morning, the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, good morning. Bo, it's good to hear you back on the radio, man. I miss you in the afternoons, and you guys seem to be gelling right along. So it's good to hear both of you
thanks,
on
man.
mornings.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
13 Days of Deals starts now at Fayetteville Auto Park. There's never been a better time to buy. For the next 13 days only, everything is on sale. Aggressively priced up front, based on the Kelley Blue Book Price Advisor. Tons of pre-owned below $29,999, plus all your favorite new models: Honda, Acura, Toyota, Chevrolet, and more. Our biggest sales event ever. Now through November 30th at Fayetteville Auto Park. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy, this is it. Tons of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose. The deals of the year are here at Fayetteville Auto Park. We've got a great selection of pre-owned, many priced under $29,999, but only for a limited time. Closeout pricing means you save big on every new or pre-owned. What are you waiting for? You've only got a few days to lock in these limited time offers. Absolutely ends November 30th at Fayetteville Auto Park. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show, located on West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Online at FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Pre-owned sale. All offers mutually exclusive. Expires 11/30/24.
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. That's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this, for just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians, backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to GoPascal.com and don't worry about hot water anymore.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original Sports Rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what odd time is for you, but yeah, you got here before the show started.
Whatever. Hey, have you ever seen anyone that takes so much pride in being the first one here?
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, Tin Layer Dip, Brisket Nachos, and Mexican Pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baum Walker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb-based gram
He means
things.
the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs!
Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I'd like to apologize to anyone who's been offended today by the silliness of the show.
Thoughtful analysis is what we're known for here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I've taken the hat off for a segment. Yeah, it's so hot in here. So this is what happens. This is why I don't like to turn the heat on, because it heats up quick.
I know, it does. Well, we're in an enclosed area here with 4 vents.
It's really knocked my...
It's knocked you off your game.
Yeah, well,
hasn't it?
I just feel like I got vertigo all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's just totally thrown you off, I can tell.
And
balance out of whack?
Yeah, my eyesight's gone wild and wacky.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I almost
Are you having a
stroked out
stroke?
when I was laughing at you earlier. I might be.
Yeah.
I might be.
It wasn't that funny. It really wasn't that funny.
Well, the thing that got me was the very end. What was the thing he said at the very? What Chuck said at the very end?
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks for coming.
All right.
Yeah,
Coach Cal.
Yeah, that's it. Coach Cal, everybody.
Yeah, you were
Bang.
You were a real big part of everything.
Well, I was. It was integral.
So yeah, I was listening last night because when I'm not here, I just try to find Chuck other places on the
Well,
radio.
absolutely.
It's how I get through the day. I get 3
understand.
hours in the morning, and then the rest of my day,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
if I can't find you, I'll just go listen to like a podcast of the show. I'll go search Chuck and Bo on Spotify, and I'll start listening, and you'll just hear the voice of Chuck Barrett. So last night I was trying to listen to the radio, and all I heard was Cal. I didn't hear any Chuck. And then I realized, it is his show. But I was just thinking, like,
I did have one strong moment where I explained the hog ticks policy about how they don't resell them, how it's against state law to do that, and they actually give them away to teachers and retired military people and first responders and stuff like that.
How does that work?
Well, there's this misconception that when you go to Hogtix, it's HOGTIX at uark.edu. When you go to that, I think there's this misconception that they're reselling the tickets. They're selling them twice. I've read that. We can't do that. First off, that's against state law. You cannot do that. And what they do when those tickets are given back, so to speak, is they are donated. And again, kind of like the list that I went through. But I think people have this idea that they're getting those tickets back and they're reselling them, and that's not what's going on.
I mean, this is a good conversation. It's needed for people to understand this. But if you're outside of the state and you have, and you have a basketball program, that is respected nationally, you're not having this conversation at most places. They're wondering how to get tickets because they're never available. They're not like, how do we fill the stadium up? You have a Hall of Fame basketball coach. Just give me a second to talk about what it looks like from the outside world. From the outside world, this is the conversation they're having. I agree with you. Like, I don't blame anybody for not being there on a Monday night against a no-name team, bad weather, kids, all the things that happen in real everyday life. But we want to have what we want and not do what it takes to have it sometimes. And as a fan base, we want to sit around and tell everybody how big time we are, but we don't want to be big time because everybody in Kentucky still has all the same things that we have to do. And they go. Now, I don't know if they leave their kids at home unattended or what, but they go. You know, I'm not sure that it's completely healthy to do whatever it is it takes to go to every single game. But comparatively speaking, if you're recruiting and you're Cal, you might have to address that. You might have to address that when you're in a home because it's viral. It's like, yeah, and by the way, when he's talking on that video, people may not even realize that's after the game and because the whole stadium's empty behind him. And so it almost gives the appearance like nobody went to the game. These are just things that happen. I mean, I totally agree with you, Chuck, that I don't blame fans for not going, but just understand you're in a competitive world too. So my last point on this would be that we have a standard for coaches and players that we don't apply to ourselves. We routinely have a standard for coaches and players that we don't apply to ourselves, whether it's as a fan or in our own life. And that's often true of how we live our life. We have higher expectations of others than we sometimes do for ourselves. I want Bart to always be nice to me. But I'm not always nice to Bart. But I get mad if Bart's not nice to me. I get mad if Bart gets mad that I'm not nice to him because he should just understand that I'm having a bad day. Am I wrong? I mean, this is what happens. So, but the reality is that this is the outcome you're going to get. Like if you don't want to be embarrassed and you don't want to have an empty stadium, then you got to fill it or arena.
I'm not embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed by what happened Monday night. I'm not embarrassed by that at all. Look, if you want to compare every college basketball crowd to Kentucky, you know, you're probably going to come up on the short end. This is what they've done for generations. It didn't just start when Cal left, and it didn't just start when Cal got there. I mean, they've been doing this as long as they've been playing basketball. And if you're going to compare your crowd size and consider that to be the standard, most every college basketball program in America is going to come up short there. You know, as far as Cal and recruiting goes, all he's got to do is say, turn on the television. Look at all my guys. Get your calculator out and figure up all the money they've made. That's what he recruits with. You give Cal a barn and a basketball, and he'll send guys to the NBA. I mean, I believe that.
Oh, I agree.
And
I understand
that's
that
the
part.
recruiting tool.
Well, but it's not to say he gets everybody he wants.
I understand that.
And it could impact.
But
the
he gets
idea
his
of
share.
somebody
He gets his share. I mean, I hadn't heard him so far.
He has always had great recruiting classes.
Right.
Memphis, Kentucky, and now here. I'm just saying that it does matter on some level when you are pitching your program, no matter how good the coach is, Hall of Fame coach, recruiting classes, all the money he's made players in the NBA or gotten them to the NBA so they could make that money. You're still on a pitch. And it takes your pitch down a notch about where you play if you're pitching and recruiting against teams who don't have a crowd size problem.
Look, if it was the middle of January and Arkansas was playing Tennessee on a Tuesday night, and there were 9,000 people in the arena, now that's something you use against them. But you're playing on a Monday night against Pacific in a game nobody's even going to remember 2 weeks from now. Once they play Illinois up in Kansas City and play Miami and nobody's going to remember this.
You're making too much sense.
I mean, it's crazy what they're doing with this and
That's
trying
right.
to turn
It's called social media.
I understand. They're trying to turn one Monday night game into some commentary on the commitment of the Razorback fans. I'm just not buying into that.
That's because you've got a very powerful, I said it, a very powerful Kentucky fan base. What I mean is they're very active, and there's a lot of them. And they're crazy to some extent, like most fans are. And they are fueling this thing on social media, and it's an attack on Arkansas because they don't like Cal. Cal is the X, and they can't quit paying attention to him. And we're caught, and Arkansas is a part of it.
We're caught up in it. There's no doubt about
you're
that.
Right. Like,
But
logically speaking, you're
there's
right.
no doubt the Kentucky fans are obsessed. There's no question. I've
Twitter-
never seen anything quite like it, to be honest with you, but they are.
Twitter and social media are not logical.
No, they're not.
You get snapshots, and so the snap judgment and the
I know.
conversation around the country is.
I know how it all works.
Even get any
I
fans in
understand
there.
how it all
They're all
works. I'm
chuckling.
just saying that I think saying that the Razorback fans are somehow inferior because they had 9,000 or 10,000 people there on a rainy Monday night to watch them play Pacific. I'm just not going to buy into that.
I know how it all works. I know. Ask me about it. I'll tell you how it all works on this social media
Let me
crap.
go, old man. I know exactly how the whole thing works.
What a mess. That social media world. I know how it works. It's garbage. You know what it is?
All
Sucks.
right.
No,
all
you're
right.
not. You're not wrong. Though.
Point made.
You're
point
not
made,
wrong.
Point made.
Go ahead, Bart, with your corduroy Arkansas hat on today. Looking fly.
Bart is ready for the weather.
That's fire.
Thanks. We're also skipping over just a very basic point in all of this. It's Kentucky. What else do they have to do?
Oh, here we go.
Wow.
Put that on
Okay.
Put that on social.
Yeah.
No,
Barstool, pick that up.
I'm serious though. Like that's what they've done their entire lives is they've gone to basketball games. That's what they do. They don't have a great football program that they're supporting. It's not horse racing season yet. There's only so much bourbon you can drink. That's what they do. They go to basketball games. That's my point. Like there's nothing else going on because basketball's the main event in Lexington, Kentucky all the time. Like that's
you're saying the same thing Chuck just said, basically. Like, nobody's ever said at Arkansas we have bigger crowds than Kentucky, or we have more people that go to basketball games than Kentucky. So the point's not.
We sell pretty much the same. I mean, they got a bigger arena, but we sell a lot of tickets.
It's they're looking down on us right now.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to be looked down on.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's
And
Kentucky.
you've been a
There's
proud,
nothing better to do.
But like when you, okay, let me just ask you: when you take somebody, when your family comes to town from Europe, and you take them to Bud Walton Arena, and you walk in there and you talk about what a great place this is to play basketball and how loud it is and how great it is and all that, there's a sense of pride as a fan about your program, what you can be in basketball, all these things.
I agree.
Absolutely.
And so when you see this going viral across the country, across the world, whatever, people paying attention to college basketball, and you're being laughed at, you probably don't like that. And how it happened is, like Chuck and you have made great points on the logic of it. But also, I'm hearing a bunch of Razorback fans complain about people not being at the game.
Because when they watched it on TV, it didn't look good.
Well, yeah, but
that's what they're saying. I didn't go, but when I watched it on TV, it didn't look good.
Okay,
so that's unacceptable.
Like
so we're embarrassed, but I guess
want
my
somebody
point was
else to do
we
it.
want somebody else to take care of it, just like the standard we hold players and coaches to, that we don't apply to our own life. Roy has a breaking news report for us.
I want to
apparently
hear
on
this.
Brian and Ozark.
He's done some background work.
Roy is also calling in from Ozark. Roy, good morning.
Hi, good morning, guys. Just a short story about, I don't know, late September, early October with my daughter's volleyball tournament, Southside. And sitting there with my wife enjoying some popcorn. By the way, it's really good. Shout out to the Southside popcorn maker. But anyway, this jackwagon sits down behind me and commenced to talking about how great Texas is and how wonderful or how terrible Arkansas was. Well, I finally, after listening to him, I'm like, I recognize this guy's voice. So I turned to my wife and said, hey, this guy is Brian from Ozark.
It's a good marriage.
So eventually he gets up, but the dude's wearing a burnt orange hat and black and gold popsicle shirt. So for all the good people of Ozark, could we please stop calling this guy Brian from Ozark?
Yes.
Are you saying he's from another town?
Fort Smith?
You saying he's from Pottsville?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Where
That's what I'm
were
saying.
you again?
That's just my theory.
He was in Fort Smith.
I'm
at
Southside. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're saying he might
At
be
a
from
volleyball
Pottsville.
tournament.
You're saying he's actually
That's
from
what I'm
Pottsville. Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get
I've
to the
heard-
Yeah, he
bottom
is
of
from
what you're
Ozark.
saying.
We're not gonna claim him anyway.
Right. So he's just as annoying in person?
I would just 100%. I mean,
Man,
it was a big win because the guy finally got up and moved. But I think we need to refer to him as Brian the Kool-Aid drinker because he's definitely in the cult of the what's called the Longhorn fan base.
Yeah. Well, that's
Cultist.
good intel.
He's a cultist.
That's good intel, Roy. And Texas is number 3 in the college football playoff. Reese Davis, host of the playoff show on ESPN and obviously host of College Game Day, will join us at 7 o'clock. And we're going to get into the playoff, which we haven't even
That's
talked
big
about
time.
yet.
Well,
We've been talking about the size of crowds.
I know. Let's talk about Boise State getting a bye. Can we do that?
Yeah, we'll do it
Where's
next.
the outrage?
We'll do it next.
Where's the
There's a lot of outrage to be had here. There's a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of outrage to come. The college football playoff is going to be outrageous. 877-377-6963. Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning. Can we just say, for all of you who get up early in the morning and you work so hard, man, we're glad you're here. We just really appreciate
too.
all the work you do to make Arkansas better.
You talking to me?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
This holiday season, make your moments unforgettable with a gift from Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. From brilliant diamonds to vibrant gemstones and timeless watches, Blakeman's has something for everyone on your list. Our team is here to guide you in finding the perfect piece, whether it's a token of love, appreciation, or holiday celebration. Visit us in Rogers and see why Blakeman's Fine Jewelry is Northwest Arkansas's go-to destination for gifts that shine. Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
We bring in players. They didn't grow up with a woo big shirt. They don't bleed hot red. They bleed money.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
'Tis the season for Hardee's handcrafted goodness. Made from scratch buttermilk biscuits pulled fresh from the oven. The return of special traditions like salty sweet candied bacon. And faithful friends like Hardee's cinnamon raisin biscuits gathered near to us and served all day, all season long. From icing drizzled biscuits to savory charbroiled burgers, unwrap the holiday goodness of Hardee's. And now enjoy breakfast till noon. Available for limited time at participating locations. Items may vary.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, A Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, A Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's A Cut Above, 719-5605. 5605.
A Cut Above, 719-719-5605. That's A Cut Above, 719-5605. 5605.
5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605. 5605.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Ty Richardson, we're at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith. Lindsay, what's going on this month?
We have the new Kawasaki Ridge side-by-sides in stock. Most of them have a full cab with heat and air. They have a 1000cc inline 4-cylinder engine. We also have new Kawasaki Brute Force 450s and 750s in stock. And we are stocked up for dirt bikes and ATVs for the holiday season. Come by and see us or visit WheelerPowersports.com.
Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Presented by Sharp Equipment. The merger of two good companies brings together strengths to make one great company. Regerson is now Sharp Equipment. Even though it will no longer have Joe, Jesse, or Sheila as they go off on another adventure, the foundation they have laid is now a strong asset along with Sharp Equipment to complement its offerings to their great customers. Sharp Equipment would like to thank the Taylors and look forward to continuing to serve the River Valley and beyond. Stop in at 5608 Wheeler Avenue and see what all Sharp Equipment has to offer.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive, and financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Did your spouse move out and take the Christmas decorations with her? Mock Legal Solutions is here to help with your divorce and your decorations. On Friday, November 22nd, ESPN Radio will be live all day from our conference room in Fort Smith. Tune in or drop in for the morning rush, halftime, and wrap up the day with the ESPN equivalents of Cousin Eddie, Ruskin, and Zach. Sign up on hitthatline.com to register for our Christmas giveaway. Walmart gift cards and one fully decorated Christmas tree will be given away. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
You serious, Clark? You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Here's my question about Eddie's calls. Is anybody else up? Woo! Or do they wake up to Eddie screaming in the living room? How would you like to wake up like that?
I felt like I had gas filled up, baby.
What happens like when relatives come over and stay the night? Like, hey, we're from out of town, and all you hear is him like, and then I went to this song.
So I cranked up this song. Woo!
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Here he is, Eddie from Clarksville. Eddie, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen, and good morning, this passionate fan base. You know, I talk about a couple of things the last couple of weeks, pride and passion. You know, and I said yesterday, you know, certainly I bleed Dallas blue. You know, I grew up a very passionate Cowboy fan, as I said yesterday, and I can't say the tears didn't roll down my face the other day because I realized, you know, when you talk about, you've heard me say moments in time, and, you know, I mentioned a few players I grew up with, but also, you know, this year had special meaning to me and my beloved football Hog Train. You know, I got aboard the Hog Train in 1971. And, you know, a game against Texas. One thing I got that day, I got the Woo Pig Suey versus the Hook'em Horns. And, you know, John Neighbors has become a personal friend of mine. We text back and forth.
Hey, seriously, let me stop you just a second, Eddie. Does John like do you favors, give you like movie passes and food coupons for mentioning his name?
I don't know. I kind of like John. But, you know, we text back and forth, you know, but he does ask questions from time to time, and he asked before he played Texas, does it really mean something? And absolutely it does. It always will mean something. And when I grew up, I mentioned to you, and Bo, you know, those all RC cars. You couldn't attend the game where family and friends would gather. And I remember that old RC console from the neighborhood. And, you know, I tried to squeeze in, you know, you would see in the neighborhood big Texas signs. And, you know, it was just a passionate rivalry. And it always will be. It means something, always will mean something to the working people of this state. Something to hate. Of course, we came up a little short this year. Let me say this. I don't know what the future holds. We got 2 games left in the season, you know, and so I would hope that we're going to compete, do what we're supposed to do against Louisiana Tech, and I would hope that we would go to Columbia and pour it on the Tigers, you know, because that's a program we have not yet fared well against since Coach Pittman's been the head coach of our program. That's just a fact of it. It's an inconsistency in our program. I would hope they go down there and suck the Tigers in the mouth, you know, and I hope that takes place. But to do that, I just want to say to the fan base, always, if I die tomorrow, always be passionate and always have a dream. You know, I'm going to say the recipe one more time in our program. If you don't believe me, ask Clay Henry. The recipe to have a winning program is, and Frank Boyle's really laid it out. You think about the whole state. We get 8 players maybe a year that can play on the Division I level, and you better get every one of those kids. And so if you lose 1, you're really hurting. You lose 2, 3, you lose half of them, you're in trouble. Let me say this. The rest of them are going to play the smaller universities. But look at the state of Texas. For every high school in the state of Texas, you're looking at 6 to 8 kids that can play on the Division I level. And Texas can't get them all. And Frank Boyles always went to Texas and got players from Texas and used them to beat Texas with. And we're not doing a good enough job recruiting Texas. And we're not doing a good enough job recruiting our in-state kids. Some of our most, over the decades, most best teams we ever had were by in-state kids. And you know what I mean? And that's not taking place. Get your in-state kids. And so I don't know what's going to take place there to get them over. I realize the NIL has changed the college landscape. A kid, and somebody offers some money at another university. But is everything about money today? I guess it is. You know what I mean? What about playing for pride and passion for the, you know, you got to get something to turn that around and get these kids aboard the Hog Train again. They're in-state. And, you know, play for a program. And thank you for taking my call. Just my view on it. And as we end the season, it's always blessed. You know, like I said, the 53rd year. Think about that. I've seen all the coaches. I've seen all the teams play. And, you know, not just in our football or basketball, and, you know, in our baseball. And I'm still waiting on a national championship patiently in baseball. You know, the 2018 as close as it comes in any sport. And Coach Van Horn has been the most consistent coach in our programs. Consistently good every year.
Oh, no doubt. He's on the Mount Rushmore for sure. And ongoing legacy. Eddie, a lot there from a calm Eddie today. Bart had something on in the Situation Room about what Eddie was talking about.
Yeah, I mean, look, Eddie's not wrong. You've got to get the great players in the state when you have them. The issue is that our state hasn't had them. In the last 15 years, the state of Arkansas has only produced 8 top 100 prospects in the country. That's not even one a year. That's basically half a prospect a year. That's not enough. That's not good enough. That's not enough to support a winning program. And when you look at when Arkansas has been really good, the standout guys have been from inside the state, whether it's a Darren McFadden or I know some people on social media were caught up in saying Ryan Mallett's from Texas. No, Ryan Mallett's an Arkansas kid. Sorry, he is. Tyler Wilson, like Joe Adams, Jerry Strite, like all these kids were from Arkansas. Those guys aren't here anymore. Those guys aren't in the state anymore, according to the recruiting rankings.
Yeah. Also, the recipe's changed. I mean, there's some of that you know you still got to obviously get players from Arkansas the best you can get, but the recipe's changed with the transfer portal. And we're seeing that play out across college football, and we don't even know exactly what the whole recipe is going to be moving forward.
First off, we've got to stop assuming some things are true when they're not. We do recruit Texas. We do sign kids from Arkansas, quarterbacks from Texas, Russell's from Arkansas. I mean, I'm going down the list right here. Armstrong's from Dallas, Satania's from Fayetteville, Haz is from right over the border, the kicker's from Texas. You go, Landon Jackson's from Texas or Arkansas, depending upon how you define Texarkana. I mean, yeah, we've signed some guys from Georgia. You know, Sam and his staff have some contacts in Georgia. We've signed more kids from there.
Not used to sign a lot of guys from there.
Brad Spence is from Houston. I mean, we are recruiting Texas. We are signing in-state kids. And there's this narrative that, well, we're just not doing it anymore. Yeah, we are. I mean, we are. And when you're not losing or when you're not winning at the level people expect you to, the assumption is you're doing everything wrong. You're not going in and getting this guy. You're not recruiting in-state. That's not true. None of that stuff's true. They're still signing them from both states.
Well, also, we fall into narratives, other narratives that may not necessarily be true, like Arkansas not winning. Okay, well, is a 6-7 win season this year, was that a good season when you were making your predictions at the beginning of the year? When we have this conversation, it's not to say you should just always be happy with a 6 or 7 win team. But we act like Arkansas is having a terrible season. Are they really? Are they really having a bad season, given where all the predictions were and what we thought coming out of last year? Did the goalposts move? Speaking of, like, context and understanding, what is going on with the playoff rankings? We'll touch on it next. And Reese Davis, ESPN, joins us at 7 o'clock. Chuck and Bo Show, good morning.
Chuck, I believe this is all your fault.
Yeah,
I believe you.
All right, thank you. And it's because he doesn't have YouTube TV, for starters.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You know the sound, you know the place, and you know the time of year that means live racing at Oaklawn is coming. If your Oaklawn is playing favorites, letting it ride on long shots, or just soaking up the vibes of race day, it's time to make your plans and discover your Oaklawn. Live racing starts Friday, December 6th. Reserve seats, rooms in our hotel, or a spot in your favorite Oaklawn restaurant at oaklawn.com.
This is my Oaklawn.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state, and you can add Flyway Brewing to the list, a craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013. With popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA, there's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville, 1550 East Zion Road, or in North Little Rock at 314 Maple Street. Flyway Craft Beer, also available in restaurants and stores everywhere.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Just thinking, what is a Pirate's favorite college football team?
Say it, Bart.
Arkansas.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sportsbook in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Award-winning barbecue is always at the Links at Chaffee Crossing. Whether it's ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, they can satisfy any appetite. Enjoy daily food and drink specials while you watch the games on one of several TVs. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is here and always ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Hey, is your roof leaking? Do you have hail or wind damage? Is it just looking old and worn out? If so, you need to call Hoghead Roofing, a family-owned and operated roofing company where the #1 customer is you. They will give you their honest opinion on whether your roof needs replaced or repaired. They have folks that have worked on the insurance side so they can assist with all claims. Licensed, insured, and ready to serve you. Call Hoghead Roofing today at 479-522-0840. God bless.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
People who act like they're doing you a favor by being there, those things generally don't work out. What are you laughing about?
I was just thinking about how you come in here every day.
Oh, don't give me that now. Don't give me that. See, that's
the Chuck and Bo Show.
I'm offended by that.
Okay, Oregon's 1, Ohio State's 2, Texas 3, Penn State 4, Indiana 5, Notre Dame, Alabama, Miami 8, Ole Miss 9, Georgia 10, Tennessee 11, Boise State 12, SMU 13, BYU 14, Texas A&M 15. I'll stop there. Top 12.
Just look at the bracket. Put it in front of you.
So
look at the bracket. Boise State, Oregon, Miami, Texas with byes, and look at the teams that have to play first-round games.
BYU would be at Ohio State. Alabama would be at Notre Dame. Georgia would be at Penn State, and Ole Miss would be at Indiana.
Big Ten bias, making all the SEC teams go to the cold weather locations.
Bart and others are big believers in the committee are not doing a good enough job evaluating strength of schedule. We'll ask Reese Davis about this. He hosts the college football playoff show, as well as College Game Day. So he did the show last night. He's kind enough to join us today, and we'll get into this. The teams that get the 4 byes are the highest rated champions, which is how
conference champions,
which is how Boise got up there. We'll break it down with Reese coming up on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Flight by Yuengling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, Confidence and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatingThemCosmetic.com and click on the Sweating 'em Edge.
'Tis the holiday season, a special delight, with gifts all around and spirits so bright. Watch closely now, for there's one more surprise, a gift that brings comfort with joy in our eyes. The family rejoices, their excitement takes flight. With a new Pascal heat and air system, they're snug every night. Give your family the gift of true comfort with over $5,100 in savings. Plus, receive a whole home duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Special financing available with no payments and no interest. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
There's nothing like a college football Saturday, a few beers, your phone, and Twitter.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny skies, much cooler. A high this afternoon in the middle to upper 50s with a strong west-northwesterly wind anywhere from 15 to 25 miles per hour. Mainly clear, we settle back into the upper 30s overnight, and Thursday, lots of sunshine, low 50s north, low 60s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Touchdown, Arkansas! How did he get that wide open?
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra. The perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Waldron Wave Rural Connect. Internet is now available in your area. Fast fiber internet and full-featured home phone are ready for you. This covers areas around Waldron, Bates, Winfield, Y-City, and more. Check out your address online today. The best whole home solution of internet and phone, all from a local provider you can trust. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, A Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, A Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's A Cut Above, 719-5605.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
Dear Chuck's manners, I just talk over him.
Yeah, pardon me.
And he says, excuse me.
Excuse me while I interrupt you.
Pardon me.
Don't try to stop me. Excuse me. Excuse
You are
me.
polite. I've noticed
Excuse
that.
me. Excuse me.
I've noticed that about you since we've been doing the show together. We've known each other a long time. I had no idea Chuck was so polite. You know, he's trained himself well. And it overcomes a lot.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a called play, and I called it.
Back to Safe Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio.
New ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Chuck, it's 40. A little chillier today than it has been. So
Feels like fall.
Getting out.
Winter.
Just dress accordingly. It's only going to be a high of about 53 today. I don't know what it is in Connecticut. That's where we find Reese Davis, who is what I call the face of college football.
He really
with,
is.
The college football playoff show, College Game Day. Always been a great friend and kind to come on, and one of the best guys in the business. Reese, how are you? Great to have you on the show.
I'm doing great. Thanks for the invitation. Nice to talk to you guys this morning.
I mean, I was watching you last night. I'm like, man, this is a quick turnaround. A lot going into a Tuesday. He's going to be on with us Wednesday morning. He's up early. He's ready to go. He's got other stuff going on, but making time for us. What were your just sort of big takeaways from the show last night, the unveiling of the latest rankings, and kind of where we are a couple of weeks in here?
I think a couple of things. First of all, is that it's impossible to stack up the SEC teams and satisfy everybody because Tennessee's got a major gripe. They dropped 4 spots for losing at Georgia. And it's not just the number of spots you drop; it's where you wind up. But it's an impossible task because Tennessee beat Alabama, who beat Georgia, who beat Tennessee, and Ole Miss has only played one of them, but they won. A&M hasn't played any of them yet. They're not quite in that mix. That was one of the first things that stuck out. And the other thing was with the way BYU dropped with one loss, that it's not always the one loss, that it can be other contributing factors based on the way you've played up to that point. So BYU had a bunch of escapes, right? A bunch of close games, and credit to them. They won those games. I'm not trying to take away from that. But when you lose one, it brings in those other things of, okay, we're not sure you are what we thought you were. Indiana is in that situation, I think, but not for the same reason. They're in it because of the schedule. They played one team with a winning record up to this point, and that's Washington. Last week, when you used that stat, it was Nebraska, but Nebraska fell back to 500. So you kind of see where their schedule is. It's ranked 106. I think they're a really good team. And they've clobbered everybody except, Michigan. They had to fight. But, one time in 10 games you have to fight. I'm not holding that against you. But if you go into Ohio State and you get blitzed, then I think the schedule might put them in some peril of really falling. If they go in and play well, you can't be expected to go in and win at Ohio State, in order to maintain your position. But if you go in and look the part and play well, they'll be fine. But I do think it brings into question some of those other factors.
Reese, when you look at the at-large seating, you look at Georgia as 11 and Ole Miss at 10 and Alabama at 9. There's the realization of them having to go on the road into, colder weather locales in December. Were you surprised maybe at just the overall, the rankings, the seedings of what I'll call the at-large teams?
Yeah, and that's the terminology that I've been trying to use with people because people understand it. The at-large with college basketball. I'm wondering if there's going to be a readjustment when they do the people from other conferences are going to cry foul. Like, Notre Dame's a really good team, but just because they only have a 1 in the lost column, should they be ranked ahead of all of those SEC teams based on what they've accomplished? If you think, say, for instance, Alabama has a bad loss at Vanderbilt, I know Vanderbilt's improved. Well, it's not as bad as losing to Northern Illinois at home. And, so it makes you wonder if some of the old school 1 loss opposed to 2 loss is coming into play at this point in the rankings. And to some degree, because of the fact that everything's sort of mashed together this year, and I don't know that we have the type of elite teams at the top that we've had in years past, I can understand that you're getting credit for your record, but at the same time, I think you have to dive in a little bit more when you get to the end and start looking at who gets home games and who doesn't. If Notre Dame, blows out Army and blows out SC, then they probably earned the home game. And I've got no problem with it. But I think that at this point, that would be the one I would look at. And probably the Ohio State and Indiana thing's going to take care of itself. Some of those SEC teams, if they make it, will wind up going on the road. But my gut tells me that all of them won't. That at least somebody's going to wind up with a home game out of it.
ESPN's Reese Davis with us on the Chuck and Bo Show. Sometimes I'm wondering, and maybe they've said it, but I don't know sometimes what the committee's actually thinking in terms of, well, it doesn't really matter maybe what we rank them today. It'll really matter at the end. A lot of this is going to play itself out. But I look at Georgia and I think to myself, given all the teams they've played and the teams they've beaten, how are they 10th in the country? Are they the 10th best team in college football?
No, I mean, I think everybody knows that they're probably one of the 3 or 4 most capable teams of winning the national championship. But I think what you see with their ranking right now is sort of what I was talking about earlier. Now, they've got 2 tremendous victories. The win at Texas was just a great, great win, and I thought the win Saturday night was a great win over, a team that I think is excellent in Tennessee. But if you're going to truly evaluate the way teams have played, it's not just getting blitzed at Ole Miss and then getting blitzed for 2.5 quarters at Alabama, although they came back and then, but Alabama won the game. But, they didn't play great at Kentucky on offense. Defense obviously kept them in the game. They're kind of lackadaisical and sloppy against Florida. And, there have been a couple of other games where they haven't looked like they're playing to their potential, and I think they've gotten dinged for it. And, maybe if they can, if they finish strong, maybe there will be a reassessment, because the one thing the committee does, or they say they do, and I've got more faith in the committee. I do not like this notion of, I shouldn't say I don't like it. I want people to say what they think. And if, people in our business want to get on there and start railing about the committee and having hot takes, well, go ahead. Free country, free speech, I'm for it. I just get tired of it. Because there are people in that room have coached and played at the highest level. Others are, others haven't, but have been for a long time involved in the sport. And, I think over half the committee either played and coached college football, or also, in addition to that, played in the NFL, or coached in the NFL. And, so they know ball. So if they're dinging you for the way you played at the moment, reasonable minds can differ. When I'm saying these things to defend them, I don't mean you have to agree with them. I just don't like this idea. They don't know what they're doing. They've got this agenda or that agenda. I don't believe that. But the one thing they have consistently said in the now 11th year of the playoff, whether it's 14 or now 12, that they wipe the slate clean every week. Now, it's impossible to do that totally, but I understand what they mean. They try to go in with a fresh slate and a fresh mind every week and say, how do we rank these 25 teams?
Yeah, it's probably going to change dramatically, as you said a minute ago. But you look at this thing on paper right now, when you look at the bracket, I mean, actually look at it. The best games are in the left-hand column, or the best teams perhaps are in the left-hand column. Certainly the best games are going to be in the left-hand column.
Playing the first round.
And then you've got the right column there with the teams with the byes. And with the exception of Oregon, I don't know that anybody, at least in SEC country, looks at it and says one of those teams is going to win it all. It's just an odd-looking bracket when you see it on paper is the point I'm making.
You know what? I think you bring up a great point, and it's something that as we have looked at the bracket over the last few weeks, that I've come to believe, and I'm going to start advocating for, and they probably won't listen. We need to do away with this idea of the conference champions getting the byes in the quarterfinals.
Thank you.
If we trust the committee to rank the teams, then let's let them rank the teams. I'm okay with the 5 teams, the 5 conference champions getting into the field. That's fine if that's what they want to do. But just seed them the way they're ranked. 1 through 4, they're in the quarters. And if that's 3 Big Ten teams as it is right now, fine. Then maybe they're the 4 who earned it. And I think this idea of, and look, Spencer Danielson has become a friend of mine at Boise State. I'm very happy for their success. But this idea that they're going to win the Mountain West, play a close game with Oregon and get a bye, they're absolutely deserving of being a playoff team. But I'm not quite there on the bye unless they rank them 4th. Now, if they're ranked 4th, if Boise State's ranked 4th, go ahead. But what are they now? They're 12? Yeah, they're 12. And they're getting a bye. And, I don't think that's good policy. And I hope they address that. If they expand it to 14 or whatever, and you've got a lot more teams in it, I wish they'd just go ahead and expand it to 16 if they're going to do that. That way you don't have to worry about the byes, and you just seed them 1 through 16 and let's play.
Reese, I think the most talked about thing, and I think you guys did a great job talking about it last night after the rankings came out, is the committee weighing strength of schedule, difficulty of games enough, and are we ever going to agree on this? And I think, obviously we're in SEC country, and you could say we're biased, but I think people around the country that have coached in this league and now coach in other leagues will say this league is the most difficult one to play in. Are they considering strength of schedule enough in your estimation so far?
There are metrics to back up the point. I will say this. If I have a critique of the committee, I think it's not that they aren't evaluating strength of schedule, although that might be the case. I'm not in there, but the result, and I know what you mean, the result of it would suggest that they aren't putting the same weight on playing some of these SEC games as others. But I do think, again, I'm going to sound like the committee apologist, that it's a really difficult thing to assess strength of schedule because, for instance, they've got Texas number 3, and I think Texas is depending on which one you look at, they're in the high 30s, around 40 in strength of schedule, right? Their best win's Vanderbilt, Vanderbilt or Arkansas. And, so that doesn't blow you away. Ole Miss's schedule, now they've got a great win, but Ole Miss's schedule is nothing like Alabama's or Georgia's in terms of conference play. Nothing like it. Indiana's conference schedule, is nothing like some of the better ones in the Big Ten. So Notre Dame. Notre Dame's schedule, Notre Dame's sort of the flying one. Their schedule's like 83. They've got a great win. And the environments that the SEC people are saying are, so hostile and tough, they won at Texas A&M. And, so they have a great win, but the overall schedule's not there. So I would say that I think your assessment is right. The rankings would suggest that there is less importance being placed on that. But there's also the thing of that we talked about earlier a little bit is, okay, if there's somebody in that room that looks at it and says, Georgia, okay, Georgia has this, number one strength of schedule, and they do. It's been an impossible schedule that they've navigated beautifully for the most part. But it's okay, we're going to put them number 4 because we think they're the 4 best teams. Okay, it's hard to get the rationale behind it because of the Alabama loss, because Ole Miss just manhandled them. It's hard. There are other mitigating factors that are probably cutting the knees off of the strength of schedule argument, perhaps, is the best way to put it. And I don't want to ramble on here, but I started thinking the other day about this, and I brought it up on my podcast, that these circular arguments that we get into, you look at it and you say, Georgia, how in the world is Georgia number 10? They've got the number 1 strength of schedule. They beat Texas at Texas. They beat Tennessee, soundly by the end. And, they say strength of schedule. Yeah, but they lost. Okay, so what do you value? So for me, I decided that how I would assess this if I were in that room is, do you look the part? And by that, I don't mean size, speed, strength, recruiting stars. I mean, it can be that. Do you have an athletic, powerful defensive front that can dominate the game? But mostly it means, do you execute at a high level? That's where, say, Indiana passes this test of flying colors. The next would be, how often are you at your best? That probably would, if someone were to use this formula, would ding Georgia a little bit, would ding Alabama a little bit. How often are you at your best? How consistently do you play? Then I would get to, who was it against? That's where the strength of schedule would come in. What are the circumstances? What time of year? What was the team when you played them? And then it would look at it as, what are you right now? Are you trending in? Because what you are right now is what's going to go into the playoffs. And have you improved? Have you regressed? Have you had catastrophic injuries? And I don't really know why the guys brought the Florida State and Michigan stuff into it last night. That's probably a bad job by me as the host, not saying we're not doing this. But you tried to be polite. We've still got 3 weeks left. There's no need, getting it all out there with 3 weeks left. But to use that as an example, the Florida State argument, the old Cincinnati basketball argument back in the day when Kenyon Martin got hurt, I think those are appropriate ways to evaluate the team.
Well, I think it's fascinating to watch it play out. I mean, you guys have worked your tails off to try to explain it because how confusing the numbers have been. And I just want to say, Reese, that something that you hear every day, but we'll tell you. I mean, the job you guys do on College Game Day and continue to do year in and year out is just phenomenal. And I don't know how as a host you do what you do with Pat McAfee over there taking the show, man. And but everybody's made it work, and college football is better because of College Game Day. And it's been a treat to watch. And so thank you, just as a fan.
You are very good, Reese. They're good too, but you are very good at holding it all together.
Well, that's where I was going. Yeah. I don't know how you do all that. Yeah. But congrats on the success, man, and thanks for making time for us.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, guys. Have a great day.
Take care, Reese. Appreciate it. Reese Davis, ESPN, host of College Game Day. So many things, really.
I didn't mean to make your point
and all. Well, sometimes.
I'm sorry.
Look, when you've spent a night with Cal and you only got to say, 1 minute worth of words over an hour show,
I'm going to say
you got
something.
Stuff to say.
I know.
You got points to make. And it's not like that. And it can't just be, that's right, Coach. I agree.
Yeah, that's what it was last time.
You want to throw at the break?
Yeah. All right, back with more in just a moment.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
When they do that, they can hear our off-air conversations, and I always want to know whether or not anybody can hear us.
We know how you are off-air. It's something to be aware of.
That.
Yeah, it's something to be aware of.
I know.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
I always enjoy talking about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
Save up to $15,000 off. The Red Tag savings are back at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Your choice. Save up to $15,000 off new Silverados or up to $15,000 off new Blazer EVs. That's how we do Red Tag savings at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 12/2/24.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
Good morning, Smack Daddy. What's happening?
What's up, Bald Brotherhood?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
November is the month for thankfulness, and all of us here at Crabtree RV Center in Alma are thankful for our loyal customers who voted us the best of the River Valley and the best of the best in 2024. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years. November is the month for thankfulness, and all of us here at Crabtree RV Center in Alma are thankful for our loyal customers who voted us the best of the River Valley and the best of the best in 2024. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Let's be honest. In the South, college football is a moral play. I mean, if you win, you're on the right side of God. If you lose, you better get right with Jesus. I mean, that's just how it works.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, Reese Davis says the committee knows ball, Bart. I heard him. I thought about you the minute he said that. So Bart doesn't think they do.
Before Bart goes off, can I just say, like, one of the things, for all the screwing around we're going to continually do on this show, one of the things we try to do is bring a little bit more insight and context and truth to conversations. Now, truth, that's facts. Those are facts, not opinions. But I thought Reese did a really good job of doing that for our show today. Like if you care anything about the college football rankings and what's going on, he made me think about some things in ways that I haven't necessarily thought about it, because we do tend to live on the surface a lot. And if you go inside that room and you put yourself in their positions, the committees, There are other things to consider than we sit here and talk about.
Yeah. But Bart
has a point.
Bart has a point.
Bart has, let me just tell you, Bart has been absolutely wearing Chuck and I out during the breaks today. Like, we have a second show going on. Bart's hosting it. Chuck and I and Edward are the audience. So we're going to try to bring that on the air now. So here's Bart. Take it away, Bart. He said that committee knows ball.
They know ball.
They know ball.
They played in the NFL, Bart.
And look, Reese knows what he's talking about. I think Reese is so good. I mean, you guys talked about it toward the end of the interview there. Like, Reese is so good at what he does.
But he's wrong.
No, I don't think he is. I don't think he is at all.
Well, you said a minute ago you did.
Well, I think knowing ball. Like, I think the committee thinks that they know ball.
All right, state your case.
I think that's the difference.
State your case. State your case.
I think that's the difference.
Let's hear it.
Well, clearly, like, there's some sort of, I don't want to call it a Big Ten bias or anything, but this
you just did.
This has permeated the national media for a long time, and it's people thinking that the Big Ten is better than it actually is. And this has been going on for years now. I remember, back in the sports talk days, Bo, where I would rant about Iowa being ranked as high as they were. Iowa sucked. They always sucked. They weren't any good. And then they go to a bowl game and get their doors blown off by an SEC team because they're not a good football team. The Big Ten is not a good football conference. It's a powerful conference. It's a conference that makes a lot of money, but it is not a good football conference, top to bottom. Oregon is a very good football team. Ohio State is a very good football team. End of list. That's it. Penn State's a top 25 team. Indiana's a top 25 team, but they're not top 5 teams in the country. It's embarrassing. You are insulting college football fans by throwing out these rankings every single week because they're just not true. They're not remotely close to accurate. They are, in fact, like, they're so far from accurate, you might as well be in a different country.
I don't disagree with anything Bart's saying, just for the record.
I can't necessarily either.
Oregon 3-0 against teams ranked in the top
Bart,
25.
preach.
Okay. There are 2 other teams that have 3 top 25 wins this year. Alabama 3-1 against those teams. Georgia 3-2 against those teams. And you're telling me that Alabama and Georgia are number 7 and 10 behind Texas, Penn State, Indiana, and Notre Dame, and Miami's in between them. Get real. Anybody who's watching college football knows that Ole Miss might be the best team in the country right now. I think I would take Ole Miss against any other team right now. And they're down at 9th in the danger zone. Just 2 spots behind them is Tennessee. They're not even in the playoff because we got to get BYU and Boise State in here. If you think BYU and Boise State are 2 of the top 12 teams in the country, you don't know ball, period. You just don't. So I would question the committee and be like, what are we doing here? Because you think you know what you're talking about, but years and years and years of data says that you are wrong. Because how many times in the last 20 years has the Big Ten won a national title with a team not named Ohio State? Once, and it happened last year. With a Michigan team of a lifetime. Maybe the best team they've ever had in the history of the program.
Cheaters.
And by the way, they cheated, and their coach had to leave to go coach in the NFL. Like, give me a break. Give me a break.
And you turned down Starbucks this morning. Is that right? Did I hear that? Edward
I've
say
only had
you
1 cup of coffee this morning. I haven't even hit the second cup.
I don't think you're wrong. I mean, maybe a little carried away, but I don't think you're wrong. I mean, all you got to do, and this is what I brought up when Reese was on it, just look at the bracket. Just look at it and ask if that passes the eye test for a good playoff when you've got 1 Oregon, 2 Texas, 3 Miami, 4 Boise State.
That's the seeding.
That's the seeding.
Those are the top 4 seeds.
And then on
if
the other
playoff
side,
started today.
you got Alabama playing Notre Dame, Georgia playing Penn State, Ole Miss playing Indiana, and BYU playing Ohio
Not
State.
just playing
because
them.
they're all seated below.
Right, and they're playing
those
on the
top
road.
4 teams. They're going on the road.
These SEC teams are going on the road.
Now just look
wrong.
at that.
It's wrong.
Sometimes
It's
you got to
wrong.
step back and look at it. And it's like, all you have to do is look at that bracket and realize it's screwed up.
Yeah.
I mean, just take a look for 5, 10, 15 seconds. Stare it down and ask yourself, is this really a bracket that's going to determine the best team in college football? Is it really fairly constructed? So I'm going to agree with Bart, even though I might not have made my point the very same way.
Or nearly as well.
It was
Bart,
very,
I mean,
very
it was
well
next level.
articulated.
It
It really
award-winning.
was. You
It
step to
was-
the first tee box and really hit a
TNT
nice
just
drive.
called. They want you on Inside the NBA.
Yeah. It's the new Ernie
Trying
Johnson.
to find this. Okay, it's Chase in the 870. He said, strength of schedule doesn't exist. It's a made-up thing to fit someone's personal narrative or agenda.
Sometimes that's true, but there is, supposedly there's a way that they've determined a lot of that.
Do you
I'll
watch
tell you
football?
this. Yeah, I mean, look at Georgia's schedule and watch the games, and I think that's a pretty tough schedule. Tougher than everybody else.
Do you literally watch football?
So he also said Bart is the most uneducated person I've ever heard talk about football.
Again, somebody who does not watch and understand the game of football.
Chase, I have to say, you're patently wrong about that. Bart is highly educated. And I dare you to try to keep up with it like he does. I dare you.
Yeah.
And he's got a locks record, a winning locks record to prove it. 7:33 on the Chuck and Bo Show. Leave Bart alone. He's on it.
You never know what just happened to him that day. He could have accidentally dialed up an ED hotline while trying to call one of his hookers.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The holidays are all about making moments that matter. At Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, we're here to help you find a gift as special as the people you love. From sparkling diamonds to classic watches and colorful gemstones, we have something for everyone on your list. Stop by Blakeman's in Rogers and let us help you make this holiday one to remember. Because at Blakeman's, it's more than jewelry. It's your story. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
How was Saturday night for you after the game? What'd you do to celebrate?
The only remedy, I thought maybe get a few cold beers in there and maybe help it out a little bit.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Don't miss Arkansas Game Day before every Razorback football game this season. Brought to you by the Stadium Shop on Razorback and Sawyer Sunrooms.
I love seeing that. I know that sometimes as a coach, they get so afraid to let their emotions get too high and sometimes too low. But I really think the players identify with what Travis Williams and the attitude that he brings to work every day. And that inspires me. I mean, every time I hear Travis Williams talk to his guys, I want to strap my helmet up and run through a wall.
Only on ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Ty Richardson for JamMart. JamMart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. JamMart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero JamMart locations. And stop by any of the 6 JamMart locations in the area. JamMart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith. Aaron, what's going on this month?
We have new Polaris units on our lot, such as the Ranger XD 1500, the Sportsman 6x6, and the Razor Pro S. We have discounts here for the 2024 Polarises that have up to $6,000 off the original price. If you guys have any questions, call me or text me at 479-783-5822.
Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, 9700 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
If you don't wear tailored clothing, dressing up a lot, you don't want to spend a lot of money on it, the rental is the way to go because you get in a lot less expensive. Your party all matches and you look really coordinated with the ladies in your event. You get to try it on so everybody knows that it fits. There's no worries the weekend of the wedding. Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental because it's fun to look good.
Award-winning barbecue is always at the Links at Chaffee Crossing. Whether it's ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, they can satisfy any appetite. Enjoy daily food and drink specials while you watch the games on one of several TVs. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is here and always ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Wherever you are this morning, how old do you think Katy Perry is? What do you think? What do you think, Chuck?
38.
It's right in front of you.
Let me guess, as it says 40 on the page.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Jay said he would embarrass you so bad talking ball that you'd call in the rest of the week.
See what it called you?
Yeah, I doubt that very seriously.
Yeah, the phone lines are open, Chase.
Yeah, well,
877-377-6963. This is the world we live in. A lot of empty, hollow threats and promises and dreams.
He'd own you, Bart. He'd own you.
I'm sure he would. Hey, the Sagarin ratings, which have been around for a very, very long time. I find this interesting.
Let's see just how dry we can get. Go ahead. Sagarin ratings. It's arid, man. It's arid
Part of the
right now.
Part of the BCS, what they've been around for a long time. Take into account strength of schedule, like how well a team has done. These are their top 5 teams.
Now he's going to explain what the Sagarin rankings are.
These are their top 5 teams. This is why I'm saying it.
I get it.
Alabama, number 1. Texas, number 2. Ohio State, number 3. Georgia, number 4. Ole Miss, number 5. I'm not saying I totally agree with the order of those teams, but it's a hell of a lot closer to actual rankings than what the committee spit out.
My deal's the Texas at 2 thing.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they don't deserve to be in the playoff. I'm not suggesting that. I'm saying they're not the second. The idea that's the second best team in the country. I'm just not there.
So like when you look at part of the problem is, okay, we got to separate this. Part of the problem is the rankings. So if you just look, 1 through 25, that's part of the problem. But those, you can kind of understand some of that. It's when you get, like Chuck said, to the bracket that everything falls apart in terms of what we think we're getting in a college football playoff. Remember when, and Saban said this the other day on game day. He said, now that we have 12 teams, at least we're not leaving one of the top 5 best teams out. Like when we had a 4-team playoff, you could say we're one of the best 4 teams and maybe get left out. Surely now that we have 12 teams, one of the top 4 or 5 teams is not getting left out. He might be wrong. Because the way this is being constructed allows for that to happen. That's what's wrong with the playoff as we're all sort of seeing it in real time.
That is the point right there. By guaranteeing the top 4 conference champions, or the conference champions are going to be the top 4 seeds, that's what skews the bracket, and that's what ruins the whole thing as far as I'm concerned. You got to seed this thing 1 through 12. It's like Reese Davis said, if you put them in because they're a conference champion, fine. But the bracket just does not hold up.
Well,
it just does not hold up when you look at it.
I completely agree. And not to mention the fact that in the committee's own bracket, they are leaving out their own number 11 ranked team, which is Tennessee.
See,
make it make sense.
Yeah, no, I don't
You're
disagree
saying
with
Tennessee is the
anything you're
11th
saying.
ranked team in the country, the 11th best team in the country. Whether you agree with that or not, that's what the committee's saying, and they don't get in your 12-team playoff.
My hope in all of this that by going to 12 teams, you'd replace the argument about who's getting left out, but that team's not going to win the national championship. But by the fact that you assure that some of these inferior teams are going to be seeded the way they are, you may leave out a team that could win the national championship. I didn't think that was possible, but I'm kind of with Bart there.
7:42.
Scares me, man. I'm agreeing with Bart.
You're listening to Inside the College Football
Yeah,
Playoff.
man, that is dry.
It's taking over the Chuck and
Okay,
Bo
I'm
show
done.
this
Yeah,
morning.
I'm done.
Tyler
I'm
in
done.
Greenwood, I really hope every SEC team loses in the first round.
Why?
I guess he doesn't like SEC teams.
Okay.
Ryan in
Do you
Prairie
not want
Grove.
good games?
I'm telling y'all right now, Ole Miss is the best team in the country.
They're certainly playing like it.
Get ready for We Need Rhett Lashley talk to begin because SMU's ranking. Hey, I've already adopted like Rhett Lashley and the Fighting Mustangs of SMU. I mean, we're fans. I root for all these guys. Root for Barry Odom at UNLV. Root for Rhett at I thought Rhett killed the interview. I don't know if you got to see that last night. But as a friend, like I'm watching it as a friend, and I thought he just crushed it. Just said all the right things in a non-cliche, boring, avoided all that and still managed not to step in it and complain about being slightly out. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of this is going to get worked out, but there's still going to be glaring omissions from the playoff. And we're going to have first-round games that are going to be really hard for us to understand, like SEC teams having to go on the road and play a team that you think they should be ranked higher than.
I think that's a good point, Bo, because I think the committee, what they're doing, the way they've set this up, is that they are hoping things take care of themselves. Instead of truly ranking the teams the way they should be ranked, they're ranking them based more on record than anything else, and they're hoping that things take care of themselves. They're hoping that Indiana gets crushed by Ohio State, so they don't have to do. They're hoping for all these things to happen, but they're setting themselves up for trouble if that stuff doesn't happen.
That's right. Doug in Mountain Home. Arkansas could move to a different conference and have a chance at the playoffs every year. 50% chance compared to like a 3% chance. Now, this is so true, and it's what we talk about when you're also judging Arkansas's record. The same thing that we're applying to the college football playoff discussion is the same with Arkansas and their record and their strength of schedule and who you play. Who you play impacts your record. What would Indiana's record be with Arkansas's schedule? Food for thought. Just food for just let that just sort of,
And what would Arkansas's record
sit
be
in
with
the
Indiana?
car with you. Smack Daddy in Greenwood. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning. Man,
what's up, Bald Brotherhood?
Talk show today we have.
Yeah, I'm bored silly.
Jeez, we gotta get some entertainment going. Fire away.
What's up, Bald Brotherhood?
Hey, man.
Yeah, we're here. We're here.
Hey, I don't get to call in to you guys very often because usually I'm at work at this time, but I'm making a 2-hour drive right now,
Well,
so
good.
it's good to have you guys to make that better. Hey, real quick, does the Big Ten still have divisions, or is it just the top 2 teams that are going to go to the
Nobody's got divisions.
to the Big Ten championship?
Divisions are all gone.
Okay. I was going to say, because you're going to get into, you could very well potentially get into a situation with this whole first 4 teams or conference champions getting a bye, where what happens if Oregon wins out and is undefeated, but then loses to, I don't know, 6-5 Michigan State in the Big Ten championship. Michigan State
Ohio
goes.
State. What do they play Ohio State? Like, you know,
Well,
the
I mean, yeah,
championship
exactly.
games are like this is ridiculous.
They got to go.
Like the championship games are like that's just crazy. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, I totally agree with Reese on not
hey,
having.
we got to the playoff now. Like that's part of the playoff. Now you're like in an elimination, and you're playing somebody that that may be the best team in the country. So you're not really in a playoff.
Yeah.
You know, you're beating yourself. It's. Can we talk about something else?
Yeah.
Or do you want to talk about this some more?
Well, I mean,
I had a funny thought.
Yeah,
about it,
well, let's hear
but
Bart's
we
funny
could
thought,
go-
and
we
then
could
we'll
go- we could
then
go
we'll
somewhere
pivot.
else.
Then we'll pivot.
I mean, it just made
Humor
me think. What if Oregon just crushes Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, beats them for a second time? Should Ohio State even be in the playoff? Like, we know they're not the best team in the country at that point. Like, just kick them out. I don't know. I mean, no. The answer is no. But
Was that funny? Was that?
it was funny to me.
And at the end of the day, any of us are trying to do is amuse ourselves. So
7:47. I'm amused. Good morning.
Good morning, Hog Country. I travel with my work, so I'm on the road a lot. So you guys are on my station.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
'Tis the holiday season, a special delight, with gifts all around and spirits so bright. Watch closely now, for there's one more surprise, a gift that brings comfort with joy in our eyes. The family rejoices, their excitement takes flight. With a new Pascal heated air system, they're snug every night. Give your family the gift of true comfort with over $5,100 in savings. Plus, receive a whole home duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Special financing available with no payments and no interest. Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
With Oaklawn Sports, the action never stops and the season is never over. It's now easier than ever to wager on your favorite sports all year long. Go from football to basketball to baseball to golf. Bet on what you want, when you want, with the brand you trust. Oaklawn Sports even offers ways to bet on cricket, rugby, table tennis, and more. If it's a sport, chances are you can wager on it. Plus, it's now simpler to deposit and withdraw money from your account. Bet all year long with Oaklawn Sports, Arkansas's best sports betting app. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
Save up to $15,000 off. The Red Tag savings are back at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Your choice. Save up to $15,000 off new Silverados or up to $15,000 off new Blazer EVs. That's how we do Red Tag savings at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 12/2/24.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, I'm Taylor Green, Arkansas QB, and these two guys definitely have a face for radio.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Award-winning barbecue is always at the Links at Chaffee Crossing. Whether it's ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, they can satisfy any appetite. Enjoy daily food and drink specials while you watch the games on one of several TVs. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is here and always ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at First Financial Mortgage. My friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan, I got a good recommendation from a friend. You go to your Google reviews right now, you guys are at 4.9 for First Financial Mortgage.
Yeah, we've got the most Google reviews by any lending company in the River Valley by more than double. We really pride ourselves on those Google reviews, try to make everyone's experience really well, and that way they'll refer us to other people. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5, ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
I'm telling you, this is what it does.
It's the spirit.
It's the spirit.
I got you.
It's the excitement of the weekend.
I got you.
You wake up, you're a better dad, you're a better husband, you're a better boyfriend, you're a better friend, you're a better neighbor, you're a better person. How could you not be?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Not that all this discussion about the playoff hasn't been fascinating, but we've gone an hour and 52 minutes. We've not talked about NIL. We've not talked about money. We've not talked about all the things that are plaguing college football. Stephen Jones, former Razorback player, Jerry's son, Razorback, just Razorback. The assumption's always been the Joneses are going to pay for everything. This is what Stephen said about Arkansas and the NIL on The Fan, I think it was, in Dallas yesterday.
National championship.
Have y'all ever thought about tipping the scales on that rivalry and pumping all the NIL money into Arkansas and really just making this a no contest?
Well, we've got our own payroll, as you know, that keeps us busy. And I don't know that we need to add an NIL to it. Other thing is the NFL certainly has rules on the football side of things that really keep a finger on what an NFL owner can do in terms of NIL, which, of course, as you know, would make sense.
That does make sense,
come from college to the NFL. They keep a close eye on that, and it's really difficult to get involved in that aspect of it as an NFL owner.
Again, things we don't think about. This is what we try to do here. I'm just calling attention to it. Reese helped with it when we had him on, Reese Davis from ESPN. Things you don't go beyond the surface on that you need to. And they can't just help with the NIL. I mean, they would have to go through all kinds of red tape to pull this off because the NFL wouldn't allow it. You know, inducing players to, whatever. I mean, but I hadn't even thought of that.
Well, I mean, they've got their own responsibilities, and sometimes we forget about that. I mean, we've got some companies in our own backyard that have they've set the world on fire and then some, but they're publicly traded companies, and it's not like, Walmart can, I think, sponsor something on the field. Tyson can do these things too, but it's got to be individual money when it comes to the NIL.
Well, and again, education helps us all. It helps you have an educated opinion. Like yesterday, apparently people were talking about how the university takes ticket givebacks and they resell them. Completely false. It's a lie. It's not true. They can't resell them. If you give your ticket back to Arkansas, they're going to donate it to someone.
Yeah, that's a narrative that's just...
Well, it's because people are too lazy to look into things.
Well, they either didn't do their research or they're lying, but you cannot resell tickets when you turn them in. It's against state law. They give those things away. I'm talking about the hog tickets, when you turn your basketball tickets in. They give them to teachers, first responders, nonprofits. They can't resell them, and they don't. Anyone that says they do is not telling the truth.
Facts. That's it. Facts.
13 Days of Deals starts now at Fayetteville Auto Park. There's never been a better time to buy. For the next 13 days only, everything is on sale, aggressively priced up front, based on the Kelley Blue Book Price Advisor. Tons of pre-owned below $29,999, plus all your favorite new models, Honda, Acura, Toyota, Chevrolet, and more. Our biggest sales event ever. Now through November 30th at Fayetteville Auto Park. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy, this is it. Tons of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose. The deals of the year are here at Fayetteville Auto Park. We've got a great selection of pre-owned, many priced under $29,999, but only for a limited time. Closeout pricing means you save big on every new or pre-owned. What are you waiting for? You've only got a few days to lock in these limited time offers. Absolutely ends November 30th at Fayetteville Auto Park. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show, located on West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Online at FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Pre-owned sale. All offers mutually exclusive. Expires 11/30/24.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweatnum Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to SweatnumCosmetic.com and click on the Sweatnum Edge.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You hear that? You hear that?
Back to Save Sports Radio.
Hey, Ty Richardson for A Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, A Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, A Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. That's A Cut Above, 719-5605.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny skies, much cooler. A high this afternoon in the middle to upper 50s with a strong west-northwesterly wind anywhere from 15 to 25 miles per hour. Mainly clear, we settle back into the upper 30s overnight, and Thursday lots of sunshine, low 50s north, low 60s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by In Good Spirits, Fort Smith's premier source for fine wines, specialty beers, and liquor.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we are live at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District. Jose, but what we got whipping up today, man?
Man, today's special, we have the French toast turkey melt, kind of a special sandwich. It really didn't put us on the map, but it did put a star by our name.
Daily specials every day at the award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop. And if you don't believe me, ask Lily.
My name is Lily. My Baba makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see them at the Bakery District today.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at servicemasterpc.com.
From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Are you sure this is legal? I don't know. It's fun though, isn't it?
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith. Aaron, what's going on this month?
We have new Polaris units on our lot, such as the Ranger XD 1500, the Sportsman 6x6, and the Razor Pro S. We have discounts here for the 2024 Polarises that have up to $6,000 off the original price. If you guys have any questions, call me or text me at 479-783-5822.
Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jasco Graphics. What makes you unique from other stores in the area?
I try to build a great relationship with all of my customers. I can do just anything from cars to food trucks to signs, banners. I do a lot of custom this and that. I'll say 100% of anybody come in here, they leave out happy. Jasco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jasco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Did your spouse move out and take the Christmas decorations with her? Mock Legal Solutions is here to help with your divorce and your decorations. On Friday, November 22nd, ESPN Radio will be live all day from our conference room in Fort Smith. Tune in or drop in for the morning rush, halftime, and wrap up the day with the ESPN equivalents of Cousin Eddie, Ruskin, and Zach. Sign up on hitthatline.com to register for our Christmas giveaway. Walmart gift cards and one fully decorated Christmas tree will be given away. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
You serious, Clark?
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
What I was going to say was that the public reaction, response, whatever you want to call it, to the possibility of you shaving or not shaving has been overwhelming, and I'm not really sure what. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that or not.
I don't. It's very weird.
It is weird. It's just flat out weird. It's strange.
I think you just
Should he
made
shave?
it.
Should he not shave?
I think you just made it.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
That was a call play, and I called it, Chuck.
Back to Save Sports Radio.
I'm ready to roll right now,
Can you
Bo.
believe we're doing this?
This brings back.
Just like old times.
This is getting ridiculous, Bo Mattingly.
Northwest Arkansas is growing. It deserves an intelligent sports radio show.
Two ball play guys with a face for radio.
Here is Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
You hear Clay Henry is back.
He is back. He's back on the grid.
He is back in the mainstream media, writing stories.
Hit a deer last night, though.
Oh.
No one's immune from it. No one's immune.
Friend of
It's
the
the bane
program.
of rural living, hitting a deer.
Yeah, I mean, it is for sure, guys.
Well, we know you weren't on drugs because apparently you have to take a drug test to write for the newspaper, and you're
pull
writing.
that off?
So
How'd you pull that off, man?
You must have came up
Well, I
clean.
wasn't on drugs when I took the drug test.
Okay. All right.
Oh, man, that must have been a real hard 30 days, Clay, to get all that out of your system before you had to go in there and take that test. And
all that water.
Just, man, I just can tell you what I did. Yeah, just a lot of hydration.
Yeah.
gallons of it. Clay came to me in the press box. He said, "Oh, I passed." And apparently the background check went okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he only worked there for 30 years.
They wasted their money. Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Oh, well, hey, congratulations.
They knew they were wasting it, but they just went by their HR rules.
gotta go by
I
policy.
get that.
But you hit a deer.
The deer thing, so Becca hit one almost the same place that I hit one. It's on 201, pretty close to Mountain Home. You know, it's a highway. And that was about 6 weeks ago. Her airbag deployed, and she got arm burns, and car was totaled. She was, shaken up pretty good. It was a bad deal. Then Jean Ann went to the state volleyball matches in Springdale 2 weeks ago. She hit a deer coming home over by Alpena. So this is the third one in our family in like 4 or 5 weeks. And of course, Christopher's out there killing with his gun. So he's killed a few.
And all I can hear, because I listen to this station, when I'm in my car, is how all your appearances on this station are sponsored by the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. And you have a tag on these?
No, you don't tag them. No, I mean it's they're just dead. Yeah, of course I went to deer camp and didn't see a deer, so that was 2 weeks ago.
They only come out at night when you're driving down the road.
Oh man, I tell you, I didn't even see this one, and I won't give you the gory details. But my truck, just the grill of the trucks, is there's about a third of it gone, and I'm going to get one of those deer catcher, like contraptions, and put it on the front of the truck. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, the Yellowstone truck.
Yeah.
That's what you need.
Yeah, it looks like my truck already looks like a stormtrooper, but I mean it needs that front grill, and I don't know how much that costs, but that's what I'm going to do.
Well, it is something for all of us to pay attention to. I mean, the deer are out when it's dark. I see them every day. I feel like I see them.
The ones that we've hit, we didn't see. I mean, they came out of the dark.
You got to be ready. You got to be
blind
ready.
side.
Got to be ready.
I wasn't going that fast. It was down a hill on a curve, so you slow down. Listen to this. Our church, the pastor's wife has hit 17.
Wow.
This is
that's not very church.
So I'm watching the game. That's a lot. I'm watching the game with Clay.
7, not
sitting
17.
Right next
I'm correct. Just 7.
Yeah. Retraction. That was quick. That was before we got it published. Good job. I'm sitting next to Clay in the press box at the game. I'm watching this Arkansas game against Texas, and I like sitting by Clay because Clay really knows football, and he will tell you what's going on because he'll watch things that you sometimes, some of us like to just watch and enjoy the game. Oh, there goes the ball. Look, it's incomplete. Clay's like, did you see the left guard on that play? I watched the left guard exclusively the whole time. Here's what happened on that play. And this is why the pass was incomplete. So I enjoy that. Like, I learn a lot. But this last time, all I wanted to talk about was people in his family and people he knows running into deer. And now I'm hearing it again.
Taking drug tests.
I did point out on that winning drive, Texas, what the left tackle was doing. Kelvin Banks. I told you. Now, you may not have been listening. But they went left all the way down the field.
When they answered on that drive, when Arkansas scored, and you think, okay, Arkansas is back in the game.
Now we got a game, yeah.
And then they just marched it right down the field.
I have a news alert.
Right behind their All-American, yeah.
Tim in Greer's Ferry has texted in that they make a thing called a deer whistle, that you can attach it to the front of your truck, and it scares deer away. Is there anything to that?
Well, they do sell those. One of my buddies got them, and man, he's hitting deer right and left too. So
really,
yeah.
It turns out it calls them.
Yeah, wait, it's like
it's an attractor.
It makes the mosquito actually bite you, as opposed to repelling them.
Yeah,
they just come in like magnets. Yeah. I mean, when you got the rut going on and those deer, y'all don't really want to talk about this, do you? I mean,
no.
You're a master of rural living. Well, and I am merely city folk, so we don't. We couldn't possibly understand.
We talk about it. Now we move on.
Yeah, the collision place here. I think they love the deer.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, yeah, let's
their lots full.
Insurance money. All right, well, let's talk about just a hard transition here. Nothing smooth about it.
No.
Right into the Arkansas football team. So Clay, they got 2 games left, chance to get to a bowl game. Chuck and I were talking this morning. Chuck's, I'll just say it for him. He's annoyed by the people running around acting like this is going to be a tough game on Saturday.
Well, I think that it could be a low-scoring game. I think Louisiana Tech's, their calling card is their defense. They're the best defense in their conference. Now, that's not saying a whole lot. Because there aren't very many good defenses in their conference, but I think they're going to play hard, and this is an important game for them if they get a chance to play an SEC team. And I've never seen any easy games from these teams in Louisiana. I mean, just go across the board. It's like Arkansas has had some tough times with Louisiana Monroe. They've had tough times with Louisiana Tech. They did the last time they were here, so. To expect it to be a walk in the park is probably ill-advised.
Well,
I think
is it a 3-touchdown win? Is it a 3-touchdown win?
I don't know if it is. I mean, I'm just based on what I have felt from this Arkansas team, and not just this year, but for a number of years. When they have a great effort one week, they have a less than great effort the next week. They can't match the effort that they play. Now you think, well, if they play like that, like they did against Texas, against Louisiana Tech, yeah, they're going to roll. But that's not reality. When you have a tough loss, generally you don't play as well the next week. And I'll just point to the Oklahoma State game and then the UAB game the week after. It's been a roller coaster emotionally for these guys, and they're not exactly an offensive juggernaut either. And that's what tells me maybe a low-scoring game.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm talking about Arkansas.
Those are fair points. Yeah. Well, Louisiana Tech has struggled offensively as well.
Correct.
It's been surprising at times that we haven't seen more from the Bobby Petrino offense and the development of Taylen Green. I'm not suggesting it's easy, but the way the season began with the flashes that we saw of explosive plays, I thought we'd have seen more of that by now. How about you?
Yeah, well, I think that's fair, but I'll point out this didn't exactly turn out to be a real good Oklahoma State team. And so those first 2 weeks you're playing against defenses that have given up a lot, and you ought to look good against them. 600 yards or whatever it was for those 2 games. They just aren't consistent enough in the offensive line to give Green a chance to really do his stuff. And too often, there's somebody turned loose. And, I think that affects your confidence. Now, I will say that he looks like he's more accurate in the things they did to change his motion and arm slot have started to really pay off. I mean, the pass that was intercepted, maybe he should have thrown it to a guy that was open in the flat. I mean, I'll give you that. But Petrino talked in the summer about, those scrimmages where they had interceptions. Like, I want to see them put it in a tight window because there's going to be a time against a really good defense that you need to do that, and maybe that's the case in point. But he threaded it. I mean, and it was. I mean, there were 3 defenders, and the receiver sat down, and I mean, he put it in there. You got to catch those. That's my take on it. And but this game will be a lot like the others if they can play turnover free and control the line of scrimmage. That they'll win by a couple of touchdowns. But this doesn't look like a 3-touchdown game to me.
Well, it'll be interesting. It's the spread. I think it's 21.5. But Arkansas,
I think that's a little high.
Arkansas will take a win, and Larry the bowling ball will come out if they do. They'll be bowling.
Yeah. So, I've told some people this week that it's really, really important, to get the win this week because and I figure Kudus is going to play this week, and then he'll redshirt and not play against Missouri. But you got to get a win, and I think that's the way they'll go at it. But it's important to get a bowl game and to get more work for this offensive line and other offensive linemen. I mean, that's when you develop offensive line is you can scrimmage in bowl practice, and I think they can really get a lot of work with Singleton in the bowl practices and rest Taylen a little bit. So it's really important for the development of your players in your roster. I mean, I look at the roster, and there's a lot of guys I don't even know who they are. So they haven't been here long is what I'm getting at, and they need the development, need an extra spring practice.
I mean, you would think, and you just got to see who stays and what kind of continuity can they bring back from a staff and player standpoint.
Yeah,
you don't know. That's the thing is you've got that week period after the last game where guys are you're meeting and they're deciding whether to stay or go, and you don't know exactly what your bowl roster is going to look like. Just to be real,
that's
honest.
fair too.
Yeah,
like,
that's going to be
who are you going to have for the game?
Yeah, that's going to be a heavy work week for the 2 coordinators because Sam's going to be out, right?
That's
when he's going to have his hip
surgery.
Replacement.
And there's going to be a lot of meetings going on, and
he said the other day he's got 5 or 6 that he's going to have, and the other ones will meet with their
got
coaches.
It planned out. They've got it very meticulously planned out in how they're going to do it.
Hey, and there's probably some guys they're going to tell to leave.
Yes.
That's what happens. Yeah.
And there will be a guy or 2 that says, I'm leaving, that they try to talk into stay, and there'll be a few of them that they'll invite to go somewhere else.
It's interesting. I figure
that's how it works.
It's the way that it happens. We'd like to invite you to go elsewhere.
Yeah. Speaking of telling, people they can leave, I worked how many years with you, Chuck? 12?
Something
and another
like that.
12 or 13 with Bo. And then you guys asked me back. I mean, it's like I got re-recruited.
That's right. Well, you got to re-recruit Clay every day.
You think about what's happened in your life, Clay. It's just been a beautiful journey and story, really. And here you are just basking in the glow of an already accomplished Hall of Fame career, and people are now just asking you back. Like, that's the dream. That is my dream. That is my dream. To retire and people just ask you to come back.
I think I like the way you laid that out. It sounds like maybe things are okay.
Things are great. You should sit out in the golden hour tonight with a bourbon and a cigar and just breathe and be grateful. That'll be about 3:30 this afternoon. But isn't that the golden hour now?
Supper at 4:30.
That might be a little early, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably just say a toast to all the deer in my life.
Yeah. Well, glad everybody's okay. Thanks for.
No, that's it. It could be a lot worse. There's no doubt.
Anybody else have anything for Clay? Do we need him to stick around? Is he good? Are we all square?
I think we're good to go. I think everybody said their piece.
I'm here, Clay.
You want to talk about small crowds, Kentucky fans, anything like that?
Yeah, what'd you think about that?
I just want to know, Bart, did you give away like any friendship bracelets at the Taylor Swift concert?
Let me get a shot at Bart in before we go.
Yeah, Clay, I did.
Hey, Bart's had about enough of your crap, Clay. He was telling us that off the air. He's had about enough from you.
Send a text, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Don't call.
Man. Thanks, Clay.
All right, see y'all later.
Talk soon, man. Have a great day. Clay Henry, Hall of Famer, now writing again for the newspaper, doing a great job. Love his insight. And
I'm
serious
that drug test, too. He passed that drug test. So it
is worth announcing, yes.
Yeah,
and that background check came back, I guess, hireable.
Yeah, hireable.
So
you were talking about Clay's personal journey.
Yeah.
I remember Clay, when he wore shorts and hush puppies and drove a Honda Accord. Now he's got a truck with a rack on it, and he's like hitting deer and, living out in the country as a rural mountain man. It's unbelievable. Hey, you hit a certain age, man. You hit that crisis, and there's no looking back. There's no turning back, man.
Oh, he's living a great life. 8:17.
I couldn't be more happy for
It's
him.
the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
All right, well, congratulations. Hey, Chuck, I made some good calls today. You sure did. You sure did.
I always enjoy talking about Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. If you followed my radio career, you remember they were partners on the original sports rap radio program over 20 years ago. We've done business together from an advertising perspective, but more importantly, they've been my partners in buying and selling homes. I'd recommend them to anybody. They're in Northwest Arkansas, the River Valley, and in Branson. Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, turning houses into homes since 1978.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Save up to $15,000 off. The Red Tag savings are back at Chevrolet of Fayetteville. Your choice. Save up to $15,000 off new Silverados or up to $15,000 off new Blazer EVs. That's how we do Red Tag savings at Chevrolet of Fayetteville in the Fayetteville Auto Park. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show. Together, let's drive. ChevroletofFayetteville.com. Savings include dealer discounts and all incentives on select models. Must qualify. See dealer for details. Expires 12/2/24.
Is your hot water heater letting you down? No one likes cold showers. We want to be able to count on our hot water. That's why Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric has an offer that comes with the peace of mind I value. Get this, for just $17.76, you can get a 40 to 50 gallon water heater fully supplied and installed by their licensed and insured technicians backed by a comprehensive warranty. For less than $2,000? Yeah, price check it. It's a deal. Just log on to gopasco.com and don't worry about hot water anymore.
We were doing everything right. We were moving the ball. We had it. We booped. Wide open miss. Another one here missed. I was ready to strangle myself. Like, come on.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Remember the classic Massey Ferguson tractors, straightforward, dependable, tough as nails, and easy to run? It's those classic models that inspired the Massey Ferguson 2600H series, as durable and reliable as the classics, with up to 74 horsepower and more comfort so you can work harder. The Massey Ferguson 2600H series. It's everything you want and need in a tractor. See one at Bush Machine and Tractor Company or visit bushtractor.com to learn more.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center, 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
Arkansas is special. Our people are honest and hardworking. The Brad Hendricks Law Firm is pure Arkansas. We were raised here, we live here, and we're straight shooters. Unfortunately, out-of-state lawyers who care nothing about Arkansas are advertising for your legal business. They don't understand that you don't hand Arkansans a pile of cow dung and try to tell us it's a rose. Don't be just a number. Call the Brad Hendricks Law Firm. Tradition, reputation, results.
Hey, Hog fans, it's Zach with the Ruskin and Zach Show. Join me this Saturday, November the 23rd, from 10 to noon at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville for ESPN Arkansas's Game Day pregame show. Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt at the Stadium Shop will have a buy one regular priced clothing item, get a second equal or lesser value, half off, including their new Nike apparel and jerseys. With the largest selection of Razorback merchandise south of the North Pole, it does not get more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. ESPN Arkansas Game Day show live at the Stadium Shop on Razorback this Saturday from 10 to noon.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Now, here's the thing about these injury reports, and I
Arkansas
know they're all
quarterback
new.
Talon Green.
Yeah, he's going to play.
Is listed as?
He's not listed.
Not at all.
When a player's not listed on the injury report, he's not injured. That's kind of how it works.
Hey, that was
The
funny
Chuck
the
and
first
Bo
1,000
Show.
times I heard it.
Yeah, it was funny the first 1,000 times you heard it.
Yeah, it was. It was good.
You know, we've got a communication issue going on. We gotta change some of the drops. We've run
Was that
some
like
of these.
first week?
We've
Was
run
that
some of
first
these
week?
into the ground.
Was that the first week?
Honestly, though, that's one that's kind of evergreen.
Yeah. Maybe.
It's thoughtful. What a show we've had today.
Oh.
Reese Davis and a Hall of Famer.
And then a thorough breakdown of the college football playoff. The kind you can only find here. The kind you can only find on a program where Bart's there. And we got the full breakdown on the college football playoff.
It is wild. It really is. And I think part of it is because we didn't know things we're learning, like how this would all shake out. Here's the thing that's beautiful to me about the playoff. We've already been having this discussion for years in the SEC. Now the rest of the country's involved. Like who you play, how difficult the games are, and how it impacts your record. And it's been something, Chuck, that's been around as long as you and I have both done shows. If Arkansas was in a different conference, what would it be like? That topic comes up once a year. Shouldn't we be in the Big 12? Wouldn't it be like we'd win so many more games, we could compete for championships, we could be in the college football playoff?
Well, you can say that about every team in the SEC or any of the other major conferences, except for 3 or 4 teams at the top
Arkansas
of those
with
leagues.
a Big Ten schedule would I think be in a better spot than they are in the SEC with that schedule. I mean, this is just the toughest league.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, certainly in a different conference outside
I'm not
the SEC,
suggesting-
you probably win more games.
I'm not suggesting moving or anything. I'm just talking about difficulty of schedule really has an impact, and you're seeing that talked about nationally in a more intense way than we have prior to this 12-game playoff situation.
Anyone who was around back then knows Coach Broyles' greatest concern above all others in joining the SEC is would we be able to compete in football? Everybody knew, I think he knew, that Arkansas could and would be competitive in everything else. But it was the overriding issue then. Now, obviously, money at the end of the day and the demise of the Southwest Conference and the need for a safe landing spot. And now 30, 40 years later, being in the SEC is our safety net. And there's no question about it. If we'd not done it, there's no telling where we'd be right now. But the concern always was, can we win in football? Can we compete? Have we bitten off more than we can chew? And here we are 33, 34 years later, and that's still the question. I mean, he was prophetic in a lot of the things that he thought about what it was going to be like. We do compete in everything else, championships and everything else. But it has been a long, tough slog in football, and candidly, there's no sign that there's a light at the end of the tunnel in terms of difficulty in all of this. It's going to be a tough slog from now till the end of time. And that was his fear. And it doesn't mean you can't win. It means it's going to be tough.
That's depressing.
It's true. But it's not just Arkansas. It's everybody. It's everybody in the league. It's a tough deal every year.
That's fair.
It is a tough deal every season.
Per the point about Kirby Smart and Georgia.
Absolutely. Everybody's got it tough in this league. But candidly, we got it tougher than some. And that was always the fear. That was Broyles' biggest fear. I don't think I'm inaccurate at all to say that.
And I agree with that, Chuck. I think your point's well made. But I also think, and I don't think you're saying this, just to be clear, but I think it's possible for Arkansas to have those years where they do contend for a spot in the playoff.
Don't misunderstand me. Saying long, tough slog doesn't mean you can't get there.
Right. That's
a term that was actually taken from Schwarzkopf in the Gulf War, and we ended up doing okay. I mean, come on.
That's why I clarified.
Hello, Chuck.
That's why.
Hello, CNN.
That's why I gave the disclaimer.
Chuck, it is exactly what you said because I read it on Twitter a minute ago.
I know.
What you really said, not what you said, but what you really said.
There are 3 times since Arkansas joined the SEC when they would have made a 12-team college football playoff.
Say it one more time, Chuck.
Go ahead.
A long, tough slog.
A long, tough slog
with no light at the end of the tunnel.
I didn't say there was no light. I said at times it seems like there's no light at the end of the tunnel.
And that's why I said Chuck's point is well made. I just want to clarify that it is possible to have those good years.
Have you noticed that?
As long as I have your approval, Bart, I have everything.
Yeah, well.
Have you noticed that when we get into the anything remotely close to the college football playoff, Bart immediately thinks it's his turn to talk?
I know. Well, he's our resident expert.
Shut up now.
He's our resident expert.
No, it's just you're unconsciously competent at it. You just bam, there you are.
Well, it's not rocket science. It's just like you got to be smarter than the average selection committee member, I guess.
Baker's in Fayetteville. Baker, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning. I'm a first-time caller. However,
great to have you.
I've listened to both of you. Hello.
Yeah, great to have you. Thanks for calling.
Yeah. I've listened to you guys. You both were first on the air in sports talk, and my world was just shattered when both of you went off the air in sports talk.
Oh.
But now I'm happy to be back together again.
Thanks for coming back.
I enjoy listening to you guys. I've got just a quick comment, rather simplistic. And I know that the great conference, the conversation and controversy of the playoffs is the seeding, seems to be to me. But really, in reality, it'll all wash out. The best team will win. The best team, no matter where they're seated, the best teams are going to win out anyway. But I know there is an issue with the way they're seated versus strength of schedule and records and all that. So basically that's all I had, and I just need to say glad you guys are back on the air.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, look, if you're looking at it from a coach's perspective, it can be more challenging based on where you're seated and where you have to go play. If you want to just get down to the bottom line, what everybody has to do is win no matter who they put in front of you.
Right.
I mean, that's the end. But and it sounds simplistic, but it's true. Like if you want to make the argument, you're going to have to beat somebody on the way to the national championship if you think you can get there anyhow, right? You got to play somebody tough, and if it's in the first round or the second round or whatever.
And just for the record, no one has ever been able to convince me that a first-round bye in any sport, in any playoff, is really a good thing. No one's ever been able to convince me of that. I know there are times when the team that gets the bye wins, and there's seemingly an advantage. But there is something about a team, the day-to-dayness, the routine of it all. I've never been one of these people who thought first-round buys or buys in the postseason were the end-all, be-all. I like teams that are playing well. Those are the teams that win when you get into a tournament. The only way you can play well is to play. And sometimes those teams that play in the first round, they got their mojo going, and they're playing a team that's trying to get it back.
The whole schedule is just bizarre now. The season, college football will not end till nearly the end of January.
I know. I was looking at the dates. The first round, the on-campus games are December 20th. I mean, December 20th is when it starts, and it ends like a month later.
It's like the 20th. It's like the 20th.
It ends a month later.
The national championship game's been played around the 8th over the last few years.
And one thing I didn't really understand until I looked at it, yes, the Rose Bowl, the major bowls are all part of it, but those are quarterfinal games. Like the granddaddy of them all and the other New Year's Day bowl games, they're going to be quarterfinal games. There's nothing going to be end-all, be-all to them at all. Now, obviously, somebody's season's going to end, but these bowl games are basically going to be elimination games is what it boils down to. And I don't know. That just seems weird to me that, we're going to the Rose Bowl for the playoff. Well, maybe, it would seem like it'd be more than a quarterfinal game.
A lot of subjectivity around the college football playoff rankings, and you can make your opinion and bet on it if you want on all kinds of things as we get through the college football playoff. Who's going to win? You go to Oaklawn Sports, all kinds of prop bets, player props, game props, live in-game wagering. It's going to be a fascinating, one way or the other, finish to the college football season.
Frenetic.
It's going to be wild. I think it's going to surpass March Madness in all kinds of ways. I think
bold statement.
And it's going to last long. Like March Madness really comes down to that first weekend. And that's great. But these games and the outcomes of these games, and then it drags on for a month. It's like nobody has an idea right now. Like you can all have an opinion. Who's going to win the national championship? This is as up in the air as it's ever been. Am I wrong?
No.
It's as up in the air as it's
question.
ever been. Anyhow, you can go to the Oaklawn Sports app. New Oaklawn Sports customers earn up to $1,000 in bonus bets. Hey, go to Oaklawn.com to find out all they have there. The resort, the casino, live racing begins December 6th. The resort's incredible. They've got an amazing spa, amazing restaurants, 24/7 smoke-free casino. Special events coming to the event center in January. Just log on to Oaklawn.com. Chuck and Bo Show, 877-377-6963 if you want to join.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
There's a lot of lions, tigers, and bears, but there ain't but one Razorback. Number one.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatnomcosmetic.com and click on the Sweat No Edge. Having great vision enhances every part of life. That's why I go to McDonald Eye Associates. Whether it's a pair of readers or LASIK surgery, you know you're in good hands. You've heard former quarterback and now coach Ty Story talk about his great LASIK results with McDonald Eye. The surgeons there have done more LASIK procedures than anybody in the state of Arkansas and have helped numerous athletes get better results through improved vision. When it comes to vision, nobody sees it like McDonald Eye.
Know what else makes you an Arkansas Razorback fan? Going to the University of Arkansas. How about playing football for the team?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
not the name. If young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot. Beautiful morning.
Singleton on the option right side. Touchdown, Arkansas! Malachi Singleton from 11 yards out. Arkansas's got the lead.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Do you want to do something unconventional this holiday season? Hey, Ty Richardson for Newmeyer's Rib Room and Beer Garden, where they are catering anything that they have on their menu at the Rib Room. Take advantage of incredible ribs, smoked wings, tamales, barbecue, and more. Call them at 479-494-7427. Stop in and see Joe, Linda, and their entire team at 424 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith. The Newmeyers wish you a very happy Thanksgiving.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett at River Valley Smile Center. You may know me as your local dentist, but I'm a giant Hogs, Dolphins, and college baseball fan as well. Listen to me, Phil, and Matt talk about our 3 ups and downs for the weekend every Monday on halftime at 12:15. At River Valley Smile Center, we're a comprehensive dental facility that offers children's dentistry, dental implants, sedation, whitening, and much, much more. Dr. Cole Johnson, Dr. Hannah Cabe, and myself are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith. River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
Did your spouse move out and take the Christmas decorations with her? Mock Legal Solutions is here to help with your divorce and your decorations. On Friday, November 22nd, ESPN Radio will be live all day from our conference room in Fort Smith. Tune in or drop in for the morning rush, halftime, and wrap up the day with the ESPN equivalents of Cousin Eddie, Ruskin, and Zach. Sign up on hitthatline.com to register for our Christmas giveaway. Walmart gift cards and 1 fully decorated Christmas tree will be given away. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
You serious, Clark? You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
Look, it's Eminem's birthday.
It is 52.
What's a 52-year-old Eminem look like?
An old guy with tattoos. Lots of them.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We're back on October 17th when Eminem's birthday was.
Yeah, I had no idea that Eminem was 52. Even back in October, and it's still, here we are a month later, and I'm still overwhelmed by it.
Joe Biden's 82 today. President Joe Biden, 82 years old. Dierks Bentley is 49. You know who Dierks Bentley is, Chuck?
Some country guy.
If I ask, that's probably who it is.
Yeah,
thinking
guy.
That you wouldn't know.
Country guy.
Name one song Dierks Bentley sings.
Nah, I don't think I can do that.
Black. It's one of them.
Black? It's the name of the song.
Living's
Black,
another one.
Living.
Yeah.
Goes for that short titled song, one word title.
I don't know how the titles work.
Yeah.
I don't know who makes the titles.
It's National Absurdity Day.
I plan on celebrating.
Well, I think we already have.
Yeah, if you haven't figured it out by now.
Yeah.
It's also a National Child's Day. What does that mean?
Yeah, I kind of wondered that too.
give
Bart, what
me
does it
a-
mean? What does it mean? Look it up.
You tell me what. Get on it. Get on the double. Look it up. What?
November 20th each year recognizes National Child's Day and all the potential represented by our own children's ambitions, dreams, and goals. Through educational goals and academic missions, educators and families join forces to provide excellence at all levels of education.
Let's party.
We need some
That
music for
sounds
that.
good,
I
man.
immediately want to go speak in an elementary school.
Yeah, read to them.
Yeah. Hey, kids, gather
Go
around.
read a story.
Let me read some text that we got on the show today.
Oh, better not.
Here's one from JT in Hot Springs. So 3 times since Arkansas joined the SEC, they would have made the college football playoff. But those 3 times happened in the last 20 years. So that's once about every 7 years. I believe we should be able to be competing for the CFP once or twice in 10 years. It's JT's take. Agree or disagree?
I don't disagree. I think that's a fair.
I wouldn't have a
that's
problem
reasonable.
with it.
Yeah, I think that's very reasonable.
Well, I think if you compete for the SEC championship, you're going to be competing to be in the playoff. If you're going to be in the top 3 or 4 in the league, you're competing for the playoff. So,
Okay, so here's another question.
but now let me say this: competing for and making it to are 2 different things.
Sure.
Sometimes when we say I want them to compete for it, what you're really saying is I want them to get there. So I don't think it's unreasonable to say that once, twice, every 10 years, I don't think it's unreasonable to say I want them to be in a spot where they can compete to be in the top 4 in the league. But understand, competing and doing it are separate. And just because you compete for it doesn't mean you're necessarily going to get in. But
I think it's about being part of the conversation.
I understand
you know?
that. Well, that's what people want more than anything.
Right.
And that's the danger of the playoff. And we've talked about this, is that you're either good enough to be in the playoff or you suck.
Okay.
Period.
So a couple
That's
things.
it.
Couple things. Earlier in the year, you can remind me what the games were when they beat Tennessee. Around that time of the year, if Arkansas finds a way to win another game at the right time, they are suddenly relevant. We're talking about game day coming to Fayetteville. Remember this part of the year we were talking about? A few games ago, we were talking about, hey, if they win this game, they're in the playoff discussion. They're in the hunt. But the thing is, that's what happens, and I think that's what people are talking about.
Yeah.
So you got to be a little bit better than you are right now. You don't have to be exponentially better. You got to be a little bit better in some key areas than you were this year, and then maybe you win a couple of those games, and you are in the conversation. It's really 1 or 2 games often in a season that have you in the conversation. That's what I was excited about when Cal was hired, because people criticized his record in March. I said, you never know what's going to happen in March, but to be relevant the entire season and to be talked about in that discussion is what makes a fan feel like they have something.
Yeah.
It's part of it. So we're having this whole college football playoff discussion today. We find it interesting because we're college football fans. We're also aware we're doing a show in Arkansas and we should shut up and talk about something else because Arkansas is not in it. So when you're in the discussion, it's a game changer. Now, let me ask you this question. No divisions in the SEC. More difficult or less difficult to get to an SEC championship game with no divisions?
Well, it's more difficult.
It is. Because if you have a kind of a down year in the West, right, you can sneak up. Then there's a year or 2 in there where Arkansas did that.
Yeah, you can look, the balance of power. I mean, there was a time when the East was unquestionably stronger than the West, and there was a time when the West was unquestionably stronger than the East. And that's going to be cyclical. And Arkansas, it would be interesting to go back and look at all the teams from the East and the West that made the championship game in the league, and if if there were no divisions back then, where would they have been? Would they have been in the championship game? Some cases, I'm sure they would have been. Some cases, probably not.
Chuck and Bo Show, we're brought to you in part by First Security Bank, Pasco Air Plumbing and Electric, the Fayetteville Auto Park, Chevy of Fayetteville, Flight by Yingling, Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company, Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, and the Swetnam Edge, SwetnamCosmetic.com. Also, don't forget, if you're struggling to breathe, like at night especially, maybe you have sleep apnea, you don't like wearing that CPAP machine, check out Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine, Precedent.com. Dr. Scotty Bolding, a world-renowned surgeon from right here in Arkansas, has proven surgical alternatives that can help you breathe better. Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine, Precedent.com. Chuck and Bo Show, good morning.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I've been waiting to say this for 5 years. Sterling in Center Ridge.
This is quite the coup that they have put together. Bo and Chuck, this is a dream team.
This holiday season, give a gift that sparkles brighter than ever. A diamond from Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, premier destination for diamonds in Northwest Arkansas. At Blakeman's, we don't just help you find the perfect diamond, we guide you through the journey, teaching you everything you need to know to make the most meaningful choice. Whether it's for a proposal under the mistletoe, or a holiday anniversary, or simply a way to say I love you. Blakeman's is where your search ends and your story begins.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Did you know the CDC reports as many as 3 out of 4 Americans suffer from sleep disorders? The more severe condition is called obstructive sleep apnea, and if left untreated, can increase the risk of death by 17%. It can also lead to conditions like obesity, high blood pressure, heart condition, and stroke. If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options, and thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies provided by one of our own Arkansas surgeons, Dr. Scotty Bolding, there are alternative treatments that may eliminate the need to wear CPAP every night. Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better. Call Dr. Bolding's office today at 479-755-3000 for a consultation and tell them you heard it on the Chuck and Bo Show.
'Tis the holiday season, a special delight, with gifts all around and spirits so bright. Watch closely now, for there's one more surprise, a gift that brings comfort with joy in our eyes. The family rejoices, their excitement takes flight. With a new Pascal heat and air system, they're snug every night. Give your family the gift of true comfort with over $5,100 in savings. Plus, receive a whole home duct cleaning on qualifying systems. Special financing available with no payments and no interest. Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
A great pair. Really honored that you guys are doing this, listening over here in Jonesboro.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sportsbook in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
The The American Patriot Promotions Gun Show is coming to Malvern December 7th and 8th at the Hot Springs County Fairgrounds. Join us Saturday, December 7th from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. and Sunday, December 8th from 9 till 3. Tickets are just $10 per person, $8 for police, and only $5 for veterans in the military. Children 16 and under are free. Go to AmericanPatriotPromotions.com.
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Fan. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561. Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
You're listening to the Chuck and Bo Show on ESPN 95.3.
See, I've got this image of Clay in the fly shop by himself with a lot to say and nobody to talk to. And that and that
the dog.
And he's got the
dog looks at me. She looks at me like, "Would you just shut up?"
And so Clay starts just tweeting stuff out, and texting stuff out.
No, it's not tweeting.
All right,
There's
texting.
no
texting.
We need you on Twitter.
Texting and Facebook.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, Chuck has broken new ground this morning. He's had a kolache that Edward's wife brought in out of the kindness of her heart.
It
He
really
didn't
was
even know
nice
what it
of her to do
was.
that.
He said, "What's a kolache?" Like, I don't have a kolache.
You guys can make fun of the fact that I'm a
somebody else called it a
recluse and I don't
sausage
get out
roll.
very often. I'd have called it a sausage
that
roll.
again?
I'm a recluse. I don't get out very much. I don't know what's going on. So that's how it's pronounced. Look it up. Google me. So
it's not recluse.
No,
I'm a recluse.
There, you are a recluse. Yes,
No,
it
I've
can be
never heard
pronounced
that
recluse, but yes, it can be pronounced recluse.
What-
Absolutely. Look it up.
Well, what do you like?
My point
What do you
is
like about
this.
recluse?
My point is this: I don't get out as much as you guys, and I hadn't had one of these kolaches, but it's damn good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It is. That's the first time I
I'm
had
gonna have
one
to
with
go
bacon
back and
in
get
it.
another one.
It's the first time I've had one with bacon. That was next level. Hey, speaking of next level, we got some text here. Hey, fellas, if you look at the results in the media guide, which is a great place to go, by the way, Arkansas has won roughly 39% of their conference games since 1992 and hasn't been in the SEC championship game since 2006. It's true.
Recluse.
It doesn't matter what it said.
Recluse.
You told me to Google it.
You got some northern northern voice there. We don't say it like that down here. I say it my
I was
way.
told to look it up.
I don't care.
I believe both pronunciations are correct.
Thank you, Bart. Thank
If
you.
Chuck said it, I'm buying it.
Wow.
By the way, JT also texted in, there's a severe lack of knowledge around NIL. In fact, some people were complaining that Arkansas paid Hulk Hogan to come to the game, and that money could have gone to NIL. Well, they didn't pay Hulk Hogan to go to the game, and the university doesn't actually pay NIL. They're trying to collect it so they can pay it. And the budget, as it stands, they're cutting the budget so they can have more money when you get to a rev share situation. But they currently cannot just pay the players. That's why you have the edge. But they didn't pay Hulk Hogan. He was promoting his own beer. Misinformation is a
Real
really
American
powerful
beer.
thing. Yeah. Misinformation is a powerful thing, and here's why. Because if we're having conversations about things that aren't true, what is the point of the conversation? If we don't take the time to figure out whether it's true. I've heard people complain just on and on and on about how Arkansas doesn't do a good enough job about educating people. They don't educate people well enough, the University of Arkansas, about NIL. They don't educate people enough about the ticket turnback thing for donations. They don't. We live in a world now, we want everything handed to us. So we sit here in the media. You know whose fault it is that we don't know more about NIL? Our fault. The media's fault. The media's job is to disseminate information to the public. The information's not being hidden. It's readily available. But we're so lazy in the media, so we sit around and we point fingers at the University of Arkansas. It's their fault. They don't do a good enough job educating people. Well, if they did, we wouldn't need you. We wouldn't need us. I mean, they got to make it available, and they got to make statements, and they got to say things, and they've done that. Anyhow, let's have a sausage roll and call it a day.
I was going to say, let me have one of those pig in a blanket things. These things are good.
You do the beanie weenies on Super Bowl Sunday?
I have before, yes.
Those are great, too.
I have before. That's really good, Edward.
Shout out Hannah.
Thanks to Hannah.
Yeah, thank you.
That was great.
That was great.
I was about to say Mrs. Edward, but since you said Hannah, I'm going with Hannah.
Not Mrs. Edward.
Yeah.
Look at Bart over there giggling like he's got some thoughts on it.
Bart thinks everything that comes out of my mouth is just like the most ridiculous thing he's ever heard in his life.
That's not true.
Recluse.
You know, there's a sense of pride when it comes to things built in our state. And you can add Flyway Brewing to the list. A craft brewery with roots in North Little Rock dating back to 2013. With popular flavors like Blue Wing Berry Wheat Ale, the Honeybird Blonde, and the Early Bird IPA, there's no shortage to enjoy a tasty craft beer flight at the Flyway Brewery in Fayetteville.